Vertigo Pizza presents STP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
So what you're saying is you had very sweaty pants when you worked at the zoo. Khaki pants.
Yeah, full length.
You missed it, actually. Steve was talking about the fact that he gets eyebrow dandruff because he's got tick eyebrows.
Got tick eyebrows. Also, I got to moisturize a little bit.
Yeah. Shout out to the person who, at the beginning of this show, put together the Larry David, I prefer a 2-1 game. Yeah, that was...
Way to go, you jinxing piece of garbage.
I did say I wanted a 2-1 game between Finland and Canada.
And Russia and Canada, too, wasn't it? Oh, no. Am I wrong? Was Russia 2-1?
Yeah, that was low scoring, I think. Man, how do you get mad after that? Easily is the answer, but damn it!
Especially if you're a guy at home alone, sad,
It's no one's fault.
and you follow Max Comtois on Instagram.
I have a question.
Yes.
Should Canada only play with wood sticks now?
Yeah,
Oh.
those never broke.
I think.
My biggest issue was that Team Canada didn't have any fights, and I wanted them to fight more because what happened to Canadian hockey?
Whatever happened to Canadian dominance, more like.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? Sid Sixero went on a hell of a rant about it, and man, he nailed it. He nailed it, and I've been saying this for a while. Canadians don't want to grow the game. They want to win the gold medal every year, and they want it to be close. Not every year can be, win by the skin of your teeth against Russia. And not every year can be some crazy comeback win against the States. Not every year can be like that, and you win 5 in a row or whatever, lose one every now and then, make it feel like the rest of the world has a shot. As a Canadian, I feel sad for like a minute, and then I go, well, it's cool that other teams have a shot. I saw a bunch of Canadians go, well, we have to cheer for Finland to win the whole thing now. No, we don't. They're not the whole-ass underdog. That's Switzerland. If you're not cheering for Switzerland to win, you're a narc. Those are my
Switzerland
thoughts.
is not going to win, by the way.
I know.
Go ahead and cheer for them.
That's why it's crazy. I want them to win, and I love that underdog story. I remember years ago, I want to say 2010, Switzerland eliminated Russia. And I still remember the goalie's name, because it was the goalie who stole the show. Benjamin Kahns, caught right-handed. Ugh, weird. But he stopped the damn puck, and he stopped the Russians, and it was a great story, and he never made the show, but I still remember his name.
So picturesque that they named him after the film festival, Benjamin Kahns.
Yeah.
It's actually Kahn, but that's okay.
See, fun
Come on.
thing about that moment.
Shoehorn with a crowbar.
Hey, well, whatever.
Yeah.
You are probably the only person in Canada who remembers that because your brain is wired to hockey differently.
No.
The rest of Canada, like Sid Cicero said, will forget about this entire tournament come next Saturday.
Yes!
And there's that.
Exactly.
It
By
will
the
be the
way-
middle of January, and we'll forget that the World Juniors ever happened.
Like, have you ever seen that video where they go out to a Trump rally and they're like, hey, didn't you hate it when Obama invaded Iraq? And people are like, yeah, I hate when Obama invaded Iraq. And when Obama invaded Afghanistan, yeah! And when he did nothing after 9/11, yeah, it was bullshit too. And people don't have
care.
memories. They don't have memories.
No.
They're not like we. I would never remember what the hell you're talking about. Because honestly, during
I can remember.
During the holidays, I can remember certain games, but also
Yeah.
I'm with my family, so if I miss the World Junior games, I don't care. It's the Leaf games I don't want to miss. I'm just partial that way. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Well, super unpopular opinion, I think, because people were asking, like, okay, so Saturday, the stars were going to align in a very strange way. There was going to be the World Junior Gold Medal game. The game is still going to happen. It just won't feature Canada. And then there will be a Leafs game as well against the Vancouver Canucks. And people are like, which one are you going to watch? The Leafs, man. Am I a shitty Canadian?
hard choice.
That's not a hard choice. No, you're not.
Okay, if it's Canada States,
I'm still watching the Maple Leafs play hockey.
play a regular season game
I am a
against
Toronto
Vancouver.
Maple Leafs fan first.
Yeah.
And listen, if it was the Olympics,
Yeah.
then fine. But if I am a Toronto Maple Leafs fan first, I love Team Canada, but the red Maple Leaf comes behind the blue and white Maple Leaf. That's just me.
They wouldn't be scheduled both to start at 7 p.m.
No, they wouldn't do
Nobody's
that.
that dumb.
Yeah, because you can make so much
Go
money.
check. Go check when the gold medal game's scheduled
They'll
for.
stagger it somehow.
Dude, there is no way.
I'm pretty sure there's
that
already a time assigned to the
would
game.
put team. Why would they want to put that? Why would they put that in the
compete
afternoon?
directly with Hockey Night in
Why
Canada?
would they want to do that? Give Hockey
Just
Night in
stick it to
Canada to them
Sportsnet?
for one Saturday.
Look it up.
Steve,
Look
that
it
doesn't
up.
make any sense.
Look it up.
Well, even if it's true, it doesn't make sense.
Look
The
it
gold
up.
medal
Oh.
game starts at 8. Does that see?
The gold medal game starts at 8. The
Yeah.
Leafs Canucks start at 7.
So you can still watch the third period.
You're still going to miss parts. Think of all those ad
still gonna miss
dollars.
parts.
That's not.
Think of all those live reads that
not
they're
how
going to
that
miss.
works.
Here's
Steve.
also like, so that's I got to tell you from
Let
a
me
program.
wear my tinfoil hat.
Also, if it starts at 8, it's probably going to start at like 8:15 because pregame stuff.
Yeah,
And
they'll
it's
bring
good-
out the military and some kids, and
You're
they'll
gonna be
shoot
able
some
to watch
guns.
half of the second and all of the third by the time Leafs end.
A world of difference there, Jesse.
Also,
World-
let me throw this at you.
Throw it.
It doesn't make sense.
I'll catch it right-handed, like Michael Hutchinson or Benjamin Cons. Weirdos.
It doesn't make sense to me
Look it up.
that you would put those head to head. And I know it's like, well, they're competing networks, but the thing is, if you're an advertiser or if you're in the business of advertising, there is a pool of money.
Yeah.
There is only so much money.
Right.
So if you know that you've got a marquee game, and they're like, well, see, if this game didn't have any competition, we'd know it would hit 1 million. But because the Leafs are on, it might only hit 500,000.
Leafs and Canucks.
Leafs and Canucks are on. Okay, fair enough. In the Toronto market, I'm just talking about the Toronto. Because the Leafs are on, it only may only hit 500,000 people. Well, I'm paying the $500,000 price. I'm not paying the million price. So that doesn't make sense from a programming perspective, unless they bought
just saying.
sponsorships before it and just bought it for the whole tournament, and that's okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I am also
it
just
is
saying.
That's a disaster for the tournament. The Canada's out and Canada's hosting.
That sucks.
First time ever.
Yep.
They won't even medal.
Well,
Sucks.
I mean,
It is what it is.
The thing about it, it's interesting, and Jesse's got some tweets he is so ready to read. We'll
those
get
are
to them
fun.
in just a moment. There are a lot of hot takes after this, but one thing that I would say is that, if we want to have hockey grow to be an international sport, which I have to tell you, I do. I really want there to be an NHL
There's got to
Europe.
be more competition.
I want there to be. I would love for the KHL and the NHL to merge one day, and Vladimir Putin to hold hands with Justin Trudeau and
Yeah.
everybody, and there to be world peace. But I really do want hockey
and
to
all
be.
flights take half an hour.
That's right. I genuinely want hockey to be an international game, and quite frankly, it's just not.
Yeah.
And
No, it's behind other sports.
it's behind, way behind.
Yeah.
And for Canada not to win, that's okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like, okay, well, that's a great thing. For
And in that
years, it
fashion-
was Russia, United States, Canada,
And
in no
Sweden.
particular order.
And
Sweden.
Sweden.
Trade off a few.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so you got 4 teams that play this tournament. And in women's hockey, for the longest time, it was just the United States
Four
and Canada.
countries. Well,
Oh, it was really
4
just
countries, but
United
two
States and Canada.
countries.
We
Yeah.
should probably also include Finland in that because since 2014 they have as many championships as Canada.
Yeah, so
In,
now
in women's
in the
hockey?
World
no,
Juniors.
I'm just talking about.
Oh.
I was talking about women's hockey in that. But yeah, Finland
Okay.
for sure.
I mean, in
but
the tournament,
I'm
yeah.
saying like 1998 to like recent.
Yeah.
Right. That's really when I started watching. Was like 97, 98. Really getting into it. I'm gonna watch little Doug Gilmore years too.
look up the 16 Finland roster. It's crazy. But Ellie Tolvanen had a funny quote. It was like, no one thought we could do it. And I'm like, Finland? You're not, that's not you anymore. Finland's not the wild underdog.
Well, they're trying to play that card, but they're not.
Yeah, Finland beat Canada. I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
And that's a
that
good
happens
thing.
It is a good thing. And Canada, I don't think Canada's getting weaker. I think the competition's catching up. DiPietro was so good.
Well, the thing about world
Kills me.
competition too is that it only serves to make the countries that were dominant better. When you look at, say, Canadian hockey up until Canada, and I would argue this, Canada started playing Russia in those Summit Series, and Russia started kicking their ass.
It changed the sport.
It changed the sport, exactly. And that's because if you don't have a transfer of ideas, and these old traditionalists end up in your sport for 40
Such
years.
as work out and quit smoking.
Yeah, and not drink after every practice. It's one of those things that like the Russians really and truly brought finesse back into hockey in Canada. They brought the elements of skating back into hockey, and then the Finns and the Swedes and everybody else bringing their own spin on the game, I think is a great thing. And I think that hockey in the last 10 years has taken probably the biggest step forward it's ever taken. You look at the game 10 years ago to now, and I hope it takes another step forward, even bigger in the next 10 years, because I'm excited to see what it becomes.
And you know who's slowly creeping into that Finnish territory? I was talking about, like, I love Switzerland. They're such a pain in the ass, and they're always there. And everyone's like, well, they're not. They used to be Denmark.
Yes, they did.
And now they're not. They're in this other tier of they can beat opponents, and it's not a total shock. And, I mean, Denmark had an off year, whatever. But they did have their first win. I think it was a couple years ago with Nikolai Ehlers. And now we're looking at, when's Kazakhstan going to bring themselves back into that picture? Latvia.
I look to Slovakia, too.
Slovakia. Pretty sure Great Britain is going to be in the World Juniors next year.
Which is amazing, yeah.
Wow. Crazy!
And we have, we're all followed by the official, UK hockey body. You know that, right? They listen to the show.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
They tweet us all the time.
Yeah.
I just know I'm always on BBC Radio with Joel and Kemp Walker.
Well, you think that's it's growing there, and it's growing huge. That's amazing. It's great.
It's a good thing.
Anyway, I'm excited to see where it goes. Steve, we won't spend any time on Max Comtois and his Instagram and Mikey DiPietro and that stuff. You summed it up perfectly in your video, and I think we got to leave it there.
Saw the screaming.
Yeah, the video was great. Jesse has some tweets to read, though.
First, I just want to mention the players on the 2016 Finland World Junior team who won the championship in Finland.
It's good.
Include Sebastian Aho, Patrick Laine, Kasperi Kapanen, Jesse Puljujärvi, Olli Juolevi. So those are some of the names.
Who?
Yeah. Kind of good.
Yeah, really.
It was
Future
a
Leaf,
roster.
Jesse Puljujärvi.
Well, and I Oh my God, you're joking. I'm not.
Is that going to happen?
It might.
No.
Why is that going to happen?
I don't because it's destined.
not.
It's written in the stars.
That hasn't even been a rumor yet. It's just, I think it was The Athletic that was like, hey, it'd be cool.
The universe is calling you, Peter. The universe is calling you to answer that phone.
Would you like to hear these World Junior Championship tweets?
Yes.
From Ken Campbell,
Oh, Ken.
who's a senior scribbler at the Hockey News, according to his bio.
And he's also in my hockey league. We
That's
play
right.
hockey against
Oh,
each
yes,
other.
yes,
Yeah.
That's right. And he's going to two-hand slash you in the ankles
Well,
after the segment.
I don't blame him.
So this is his take on the championship. Nobody in Canada wants to hear about this, but the inclusion of teams such as Denmark in the WJC is the product of greed, plain and simple. The Danes were outscored 26-2 in group play last year, yet qualified because they beat Belarus in the relegation round. Well, history tells us that Denmark was actually a top 8 team in 2015, which means they earned the right to be in the 2016 tournament where they beat the Finns, unlike last year when they were outscored 26-2 in group play. And that's his take.
I just disagree. Listen, it looks bad because that's the way it shook out this time. It didn't shake out that way a few years ago. You include those teams, one, because they earned it. Two, what if they win? What if there's an upset? Their win a couple of years ago with Nikolai Ehlers in the lineup was huge for the Danish hockey program. And, Frederik Andersen's one of the best goalies in the league. Denmark was not in the hockey conversation. And now it is. It's not a giant part of it, but it's in the hockey conversation. Canada, this is probably outrageous, but I don't think they would have won the 2002 Salt Lake Olympics had Belarus not upset the Swedes and the puck bounced off Tommy Salo's head. And then I remember the teachers in my school tried to recreate the 72 Summit Series, and they had all the students gather in the auditorium to watch Canada versus Belarus in the semis. Canada won 8-1.
Yeah, exactly. Not even fair.
But Canada lost to Sweden in the round robin,
I remember that.
and Belarus upset them. So they're there because they earned it, and what if they win? They're a wrench in the cog.
He also went on to say that does getting clobbered like this actually help Denmark and Kazakhstan's hockey programs? No. But Hockey Canada, the IIHF, and their partners all make their money, and that's the most important thing here.
So here's what I would let me jump in here for a second.
Yeah.
I think these takes come from people, and with no offense to Ken, who I've met, nice guy, don't
Good
always
skater?
agree with him. Huh?
Good skater?
Good skater.
Yeah.
And he's
good-
short, so he's probably a feisty
Pretty
prick.
good. Pretty good wheels. Listen, what I would say to that is, anybody that watches the World Cup, this is to me, you're too close to the painting to see the full picture. If you watch the World Cup, the real World Cup, not the NHL World Cup, the real World Cup with actual teams. How many teams go? Is it 16?
The one that's
Or is it 32?
during the playoffs?
No,
Where?
like the FIFA Soccer World Cup.
Soccer World Cup.
How many people go to that?
I want to say 32.
32 teams. Yeah, and they're expanding to
To 64?
64.
Yeah,
for
because
the
they
next
need to
one.
fit Canada in when
That's-
Canada hosts, along with the States and
that's
Mexico.
just ridiculous.
But
Where would they even put them?
So here's the thing about those tournaments. Every once in a while, you get like a Greece at the 2004 Olympics that goes on a tear.
To
and they
2004
are
Euro.
Yeah, or Euro, okay. They go on an incredible tear. Everybody in the world's watching, and it's amazing, right?
remember the
But
World
most of
Cup-
the time, most of the time, these big teams win. Brazil, the Netherlands are always in there. Germany, England's always a
Argentina.
disappointment of it. Argentina, Colombia. You know, you've got your major countries. Italy, who didn't make the last one, but hey, we'll
you
forget
point
about that. The point I'm trying to make here is there are teams, and I think I mentioned it last week, like Honduras. They're not winning a game there, or maybe they'll win one every 12 to 15 years, but they win one, the country goes absolutely bananas.
Remember that time we won?
We won that game that one time.
To this day, it's probably still a top 5 win in franchise history, maybe the biggest win in franchise history. Raptors beat
The Bulls.
the Bulls.
In 1995.
yeah.
In 1995, it was a regular season win.
The season where the Bulls set the record for most wins in a season, the Raptors have one of their losses.
Yeah, as an expansion franchise, or was that their second season?
He was their
First season,
First, I
I'm pretty
think.
sure it was the inaugural season of the Raptors, yeah. And they beat them at the Sky Dome.
and people went
Yeah!
nuts.
Yeah.
People went
People
nuts.
were
That's
in
why they play
Sky
the
Dome.
games.
Yeah.
They didn't go, well, it's Raptors Bulls, so we forfeit.
Yeah, exactly. And so
Maybe the Raptors get killed.
I am in
That's
favor.
what people thought.
I am in favor of people making money at any turn. So good for them. If it's for greed reasons, good. The other thing is go make your money, man. Like who cares? And
Well,
then the
I
second
also-
thing is open the tournament up to more teams. Why is there only 8 teams?
Well,
why
if you
wouldn't
open it up to more teams, then there's going to be more slaughters like this, and Canada's going to be
So
playing.
what?
Yeah.
There's slaughters in World Cup soccer all the time. Why does nobody care? Why is it hockey that's like, well, we can't have slaughters? What is that?
I would say
Because then sticks break when you're having a one-timer.
Hockey gods.
In the quarterfinals.
I forgot. This
Hockey
is the
gods,
thing.
Don Cherry.
There will always be dominant teams. My point is, if you're going to include countries and truly grow this game, you must include more. You got to get people interested, because a little story about maybe a team from Belarus or a team from Slovenia coming in and beating a major team of Russia, United States, Finland, Sweden, Canada, that is national news in that country.
Slovenia, there's another one.
And that
They weren't in the picture.
and that makes teams excited. When you do stupid stuff like have a Team Europe, you've basically marginalized like 5 countries there.
Yeah, that one's tough because we hated Team Europe, but they made the final,
And they were
we
boring
loved
as hell.
Team North America, okay, in theory, like just in what it was, what team was sillier, Team North America,
North America.
or Team Europe? It was definitely North America.
Yeah.
But they were so fun.
They were fun.
The team was awesome.
But that's what an all-star team should look like.
Yeah.
To me, Team North America is what the all-star game should look like, which we can talk about. I just think...
New All-Star rule: no one over 25. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit.
Why does it matter?
Yeah.
Why did it matter in the World Cup?
Yeah.
This is my thing
No one
is
over
this.
25.
Include more teams. So what if there's some slaughters? You know what I want to see? I want to see 2 up-and-coming programs. I want to see Slovenia, Slovakia. I want to see Belarus. Like, I am a hockey fan.
The relegation
I want to see
round.
that.
The relegation round, I think, is Kazakhstan,
But the
Denmark.
relegation round is already out. No, I want to see it when there's something on the
but
line.
You're fighting to stay in.
yeah, you're fighting for next
okay.
year.
Yeah.
But that's not it's not the same.
It's like the
It's not
KHL 's
televised on TSN.
Yeah, it's not the
No, it's
tournament.
not. Yeah.
The KHL, I don't think they still do this, but years ago they had the Cup of Hope when we were doing when we were
amazing.
doing KHL highlights. They had all the teams who didn't make the playoffs compete for the Cup of Hope.
I think that's what they should do for if you're going for the first overall draft pick in the NHL. It should be the team with the best record after they're eliminated from the playoffs.
That would never
It would be the best
pass
because you
in a
gotta
collective
win.
bargaining
Yeah.
agreement.
Because you gotta win. The second you're eliminated from the playoffs, how many wins you get versus everybody else? Oh my God. What a race.
I wish. And it's all 3-on-3. Or something like that.
No, Steve.
No. You just play your games.
You just play your games. So
once you're eliminated.
So okay, let's say you, me, and Jesse are the worst teams in the NHL.
We've talked about this before. Okay.
You get eliminated a week before I do. Mm-hmm. You get a head start on it. Mm-hmm. But if I'm a better team, chances are I can win more games than you. Mm-hmm. Or I think I can anyway, even though I got eliminated a week later. There's something to play for.
The only thing is you want to give the bad teams the best players, so they're not as bad.
Well, if they really wanted to do that, then why are they doing the lottery?
But the odds are skewed. So
the odds would still be in your favor. At least there'd be good hockey.
You know what?
To me, it's the ice product
the
that
way
matters.
it was made more sense.
Yeah.
But it was getting a little bit disgraceful. And, It was.
It's only changed
teams
because
back.
the Oilers got lucky, by the way. Can we just throw that out there?
Well, because the Oilers got lucky 19 times. But you were also having teams like the Sabres, sell off too much. They hurt themselves in the McEichel year, even though they got Eichel out of it. Dude, that was not. They would not have won the Calder Cup. It was terrible. Not have won You pick any Calder Cup winner from the past 5 years, they would have beaten the 14-15 Buffalo Sabres, no problem.
That's
literally,
aggressive.
no, it's not.
They were so bad.
They were super not. They were trash.
Well, and then they had a goalie that kept winning games, Michael Neuwirth, and then they traded him too.
Oh yeah, and they were like, goodbye.
I was like, well, who's going to play goalie for you?
Don't win. Get out of here.
Wait.
But they were it was like them in Edmonton and then nobody else.
Martin Gerber saved the Leafs from drafting Braden Shen instead of Nazem Kadri. Remember Berg picked him up? Because he's like, well, I got to give people a reason to go to the games, which goes against everything that came after him. No, lose as many games as possible. But he came in and was their best goalie, which was a bar that he stepped over. And remember Darth Gerber with the black mask?
Darth Gerber, yeah. Oh my God, that he did have that.
I remember a lot of dumb goalie shit.
Did Olaf Kolzig ever suit up for the Leafs? I know he was a Leaf player.
He and Jamie Heward were both part of that trade, and neither of them ever played for the Leafs.
Kolzig didn't even come.
I don't think
he
so.
didn't
He didn't come to Toronto, no.
No,
If I remember
and
correctly.
Leaf great Martin School.
Nice.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. He had a good year. He had one good year, didn't he?
No, he wasn't. He was traded to the Leafs, I want to say, by the Devils, and the Leafs flipped him to the Penguins, or it might have been the other way around.
Yeah, he was not bad, right? Okay.
Oh, no, a goalie got flipped. I guess that didn't happen this week.
Oh, no.
What, Jesse? What? Say your thoughts, Jesse. What are you going to say, Jesse?
Go ahead, Jesse.
No, Mike McKenna just got, he played for 3 teams in 3 days. He didn't play for them. He was just on the roster, I guess.
Okay, so just full disclosure here. Steve and Jesse are going back and forth about Rachel McKenna, who is Mike McKenna's wife. And she posted on her Twitter the initial post I'm going to give you, which is, I think, she said, note to self, stop getting excited over maybe getting my family back together this hockey season. And then the next tweet was, on that note, let's go Flyers. Kenlyn's favorite color, that's one of their kids, is orange, so she's pretty excited to see her dad wear the color.
There you go.
So she posted this tweet. She only had 6 replies to it. And then the next one was 6 replies as well. And then she went and then she tweeted I think it was a 6-tweet thing, which to me seems very much like the agent contacted Mike McKenna and made him reach out to Rachel and I say reach out.
What did she say that was wrong there?
I don't think she said anything. But here's what she followed it up with, which makes me think the agent was like, hey, he just got a deal with the Flyers. Maybe don't tweet that. Don't ask me why, but I think they're pretty careful about this in the NHL. Rachel McKenna, hi everyone. I know I've done a fair amount of complaining lately, but I'm truly grateful for the career opportunity that Mike has had these 14 years. Any chance to be in the NHL is a special one and an incredible one, and I'm fully aware of how incredible it all is. That being said, I have a 2-year-old who cries and occasionally thinks her daddy doesn't love her anymore because he doesn't live with us in 2 months. She can't understand how special what her dad does is. And her tears and heartbreak are devastating to witness. I have a 5-year-old whose dad is her hero and she misses him so much. She's trying her best to be positive, but when he only has a couple minutes to talk because it's a game day and it's been weeks since she's seen him, she can't understand why he won't talk to her longer. I'm doing everything in my power to keep my kids happy, engaged, understanding of how much their dad loves them and how cool it is that he gets to play hockey for a job, but they're little. They just want their dad to be around and give them hugs and see their school concerts, to see how hard Kenlyn was working on her skating lessons so she can be a goalie just like her hero, and to read them a bedtime story and so much more. Our situation is not unique. There are lots of families out there in worse positions. I get that. I understand it. They don't. So please understand that any complaining comes from me not trying to be greedy or selfish or disliking hockey or the organizations that Mike has put on a jersey for, but because of our kids. We love and cherish what hockey has given us. It's just not always easy. On a positive note, at least we're at our house in Belleville and we don't have to risk flat tires and snowstorms to get home. It's the little things.
Oh, geez, because they started the season in Belleville.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, because he was with the Sens organization. Now, to me, when you look at the replies...
Jesse, why is that awful?
You
No,
you
go
look
ahead,
at
Adam.
replies to her original tweets. No one in there, nobody replying to her tweet said, I can't believe how ungrateful you are, you witch. But it sounds like somebody from the NHL might have. Whether it's agent, player, or team, somebody said, hey, are you upset that he's with the Flyers? And that sucks.
My question was, I didn't know this was a story because there was no outpouring about it.
Right.
There was no Twitter reaction to her initial statement about him being traded.
Adam and Jesse don't trust me to bring things to the show.
That's not true.
I sent the tweet and I was just like, I'd like to bring this up. I'd like to mention it. And they're like, well, Steve, what if it's nonsense? And I'm like, but there was a tweet yesterday about it was him hugging his kids and they were crying because they missed their daddy and they don't understand why he's leaving
Yeah,
again.
that's heartbreaking.
I know. All I wanted to do was be like, oh, did you see that picture? Because people were talking about it.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, but Rachel McKenna is ungrateful.
Yes.
Ungrateful.
You sent us the thread about her.
Yeah, you
being
started with that.
You started with Rachel McKenna's apologizing for being ungrateful. That's where we started.
That's true.
No,
That is
I
true.
just wanted to be like, I don't know. Maybe you're right to not trust me to bring things
All
to the
I
table.
knew about this
because
story
it wasn't a good thing to bring to the table. I just wanted to be like, look what this poor family has to go through.
Yeah.
Even though they're, I don't know, handsomely paid, I suppose.
Sure. But I feel bad for the kids.
Yes.
Poor kids.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
I know
shame.
what it's like to, not have a dad around all the time. My dad worked nights. And I remember, as a kid, being like, I haven't spoken to my dad in a month.
Wow.
Or something like that. Or,
Yeah,
well, no,
that's
because I would come home from school and, I would jump off the wall and he's sleeping.
When you're a kid, a week is a long time.
Oh,
yeah, I know. I said a month, but it was probably, 4 days.
But even if it was, think about how long the school year used to feel. And now you're like 6 months.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
I've said this before, but here it comes again. I remember one day in grade 1 specifically being like, I'm going to live forever.
Because things take so
Because
long.
things take so long. You ever seen the clock go backwards when you were 6 years old or whatever? Get me out of this class!
I remember thinking oh my God, this homework's going to take me 2 hours to do. And now I'm 2 hours bare minimum working a night. Outside of work. Bare minimum.
Voluntarily giving yourself extra work. Because you're like, I don't know, I care.
That's true.
care.
I mean, I cared less about drawing art stuff, but I care a little more about my job than I did about any schoolwork.
Adam,
Well,
you
like
never
this
had to do
podcast.
religion homework.
Oh.
Jesus loves us. I think the
That's
answer
always
to
a
this
good
one
answer,
is
right?
Jesus, yeah, that's what I thought. And I don't know, who fails religion?
Did you fail religion?
No!
Okay.
It's impossible to fail. That's why I got sick of getting homework.
Garret Sparks is out with a concussion.
I'm glad we started with Mike McKenna.
Mike McKenna. I
The
guess we-
35-year-old with an 896 save percentage.
How do we want to wrap that
Man,
up?
it's all the way up to 896.
Yeah.
You know what?
was below
Mike
that.
Smith has an 808, so I'm thinking that maybe Calgary could have put in a claim too.
Are you? Yeah. No.
Jess, you want to make sure I'm right on that? Because now I don't trust myself.
08?
I'm pretty sure it's 808.
Like the drums?
Like Kanye West's album, 808 and Heartbreak, literally at the NHL level.
Dave Rittich
Mike
is
Smith?
the best.
Am I wrong?
His save percentage this season with the Calgary Flames is an 886.
Oh, it's 886.
That's still
It's still pretty bad.
It's still bad.
In how many games?
Not an 808, sorry.
23
Where
games.
did I see 808?
He's
Jesus.
12-9-1, which is
all things considered.
2 shutouts
Wow.
and still an 886. 86.
That's very Mike Smith. I believe that.
But his career save percentage is 912, and last year was a 916. So that's got to come up.
What on God's green earth? That's so weird. My favorite stat, I brought this up in the LFR the other day. Louis Domingue is a 904 this season. He's 15-4.
Wow.
Tampa's okay.
Yeah, they're pretty good at hockey.
Did you see that they're first place by 12 points?
Stupid. Just stupid.
They're
winning the Stanley Cup.
If they don't win the Stanley Cup, like regardless of who wins the Stanley Cup, if it's not Tampa, it's an upset.
I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It is hockey, where the best team usually doesn't win.
Remember when Detroit set the record for points in a season and then lost in the third round?
I want to know what the biggest gap between first and second has been over the last 20 years.
Fun fact.
Why don't you know that? I thought you would know that.
Yeah.
Fun fact. No team across the 4 professional sports who has set the record in the regular season for most wins or points has won the championship of that year. The
What?
Seattle Mariners, who set the record for wins in baseball, did not win the World Series that year. The Golden State Warriors were upset by LeBron James in Game 7 of the 2006
In
NBA
games
Finals.
5, 6, and 7.
Games 5, 6, and 7. 3-1, hashtag. The New England Patriots, upset by Eli Manning in the hat catch, David Tyree. And the Detroit Red Wings, that you just mentioned, did not win. There you go. All 4 sports.
Wow.
Yeah, the Patriots winning every game and then losing the Super Bowl.
Yeah, 18-1
to Eli.
to Eli Manning. Yeah.
That's crazy. I still love he thinks he's going to hold us to under 17 points. Have you seen that video?
Yes, I have.
I watch one Patriot game a year, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, really. It's a pretty good one, yeah. Garret Sparks out with a concussion. What did you think of Michael Hutchinson yesterday?
He was fine. He certainly wasn't the reason they lost.
Could 16 shots against in the first period be part of the reason?
Oh my God! No, it was more than that. I think.
Oh,
it
was
was.
it? Okay, great.
It was too damn many, and I get concerned, I suppose, when the Leafs get outplayed by a team, and I don't think that's what happened against Minnesota. So I get concerned when that happens. I get annoyed when they just throw it away, which is what they did in this one. It was a really careless, uncharacteristic, bizarre decision from Austin Matthews in his own end. Gave away the puck, and man, if it's almost any other play, can you imagine if William Nylander did that? Like, just how full every diaper in the city would be.
I'm just imagining like the building next to us on fire and people running out of it with their hair on fire.
Yeah, just
That would be the William Nylander reaction.
That's how it'd be going. Or if it was Zaitsev,
Jake
or
Gardner.
Hainsey, or Gardner.
Oh, Gardner.
Like, man, I love Matthews, but what on God's green earth was that? That was trash.
Yeah.
It was trash. And, there were a few mistakes. There's going to be a few mistakes every game. That's fine. And they had some poor luck. They almost had 20 shots in the third period. Devin Dubnyk was really good in the third. I was glad that the Leafs couldn't find a way to score their way out of this sloppy game. They've done it too many times recently. And I want the lesson to be you can't do this.
Right.
You can't play this lackadaisical, this aloof, and expect to beat the best teams in the league. Which, by the way, the Minnesota Wild are not.
Right.
So you better be better than that, man.
Well, so I brought up Michael Hutchinson first because, first off, did you see Mike Babcock's end of game press conference when he said?
No, it was before the game.
Oh, it was before the game. He asked him what his name was, like his first name. He didn't know it was Michael Hutchinson. He just knew it was Hutchinson.
Oh, yeah?
And then he said, and then he's like, then he told him his name, and then he's like, okay, well, have fun. And this is his dream to play for the Leafs. Hutchinson's dream has
From
been
Barrie, Ontario.
Now, the other thing that emerged this morning is Elliot Friedman did an interview with the starting lineup on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
So I missed a lot of this. Okay.
This is interesting. You can go back and listen to the interview, but basically he told Brady and Price that Sparks has not won the backup job.
Okay.
The organization looks at this, and Mike Babcock said we're looking to acquire another goaltender. He by the way, he mentioned that after the Hutchinson thing. He said, so it looks as though there's going to be a battle. And what Elliot Friedman suggested was that if you look at the teams that have won the Stanley Cup in the last 5 years,
They've had to use 2 goalies.
and the majority of them, those goalies don't play 65 games and win. Like, I know that's everybody's like, well, Marty Brodeur did it. Well, that was Marty Brodeur. He's like the top 1 or 2 goaltender all time. That is not a regular thing.
Well, this outlier.
Yeah. The reason he's an
there's
outlier.
outliers for everything.
Wayne Gretzky did it. It's like,
Well, that guy won the lottery.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, right.
I
I'm
don't
gonna go pick
know.
up my ticket. I just think that the Leafs have finally realized that they got to have some competition at that spot. Doesn't mean Garret Sparks isn't the right guy for the job. And I've been on the record, and I know people don't like it. I'm not convinced yet. I'm still not convinced, but it doesn't mean he's not capable.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling thing, and I remember how little time it took me to get that feeling with McElhinney. And he looked terrible every game he played in with the Leafs.
Yeah, just for the record, nobody believed in him either.
He looked terrible every single game he put on a Leaf uniform. But I didn't care because my brain just knew he was going to stop the puck more often than not.
There was Mackle magic.
There was Mackle magic. Hutchinson, there was that magic a little bit. Like, I was just instantly, even though his numbers are freaking terrible, I was instantly like, he'll be okay. With Sparks, I just didn't have it. Dude, AHL Goalie of the Year, and in the AHL, still never had it. And I've tried to convince myself it's going to happen. It might. He's young. Like, this is the thing.
25.
Dubas made a mistake, whatever. It still would have been irresponsible. Dude, against the odds, you have goalie at the end of his career who just came off his best season ever. And you're going to ditch not 1 but 2 goalies in their mid-20s for 1 season of this guy. That's not smart. 9 times out of 10, that's not smart. This is the 1 time out of 10. McElhinney's having a fine season.
Mm-hmm.
Sparks isn't that good, and Pickard is holy shit. And also, the Leafs, we know they put a claim in on Pickard, and they weren't able to get him. The Leafs are victims of their own success because they weren't able to get Pickard. I'm willing to bet they put a claim on McKenna.
Oh yeah, but
And
the
they weren't
Flyers,
able to get him.
And I bet the Flames did too, and they couldn't get him.
Yeah, that would have made sense because they got...
Because the Flyers are still...
Rittich is out, and they got Smith and... Who's their third? Parsons?
I think so. And it's funny that it's Tampa, Toronto, Calgary, top 3 teams in the NHL.
That's unreal,
And
eh?
two of them are still trying to figure out their goaltending situation.
Well, even
That's
Tampa, like, they were without Vasilevsky for over a dozen games.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's back and he's good.
And now he's back, and he's...
Is Vasilevsky good? Is he good?
He's a little bit good,
Yeah.
Vasilevsky.
Pickard is back down with the Tucson Roadrunners, by the way.
Yeah, he got claimed by the Coyotes.
Yeah,
That's
so,
who
and he's
took him
sent to
from the
their
Leafs.
AHL affiliate, so that's no fun.
How's he
had
doing?
8.6. He hasn't played a game yet,
Oh, okay.
but he had an 8.63 the Flyers before he was put down on waivers.
Oof.
And McElhinney, who had a 934 save percentage with the Leafs last year, went 11-5-1 with 3 shutouts.
It's so stupid.
That is ridiculous.
so stupid. All second halves.
Oh yeah.
Every one of them.
Yeah. This year, he has a 924 as 8-5-1. So,
That's so
And
bad.
on a
McElhinney
bad
was the best
team.
choice.
On a really bad team.
With the Hurricanes?
Sorry, not on a
Hurricanes
bad
are
team.
all
They have the talent. On a poorly coached, poorly managed team.
Unlucky team. They're
Poorly coached team.
The Corsi Kings.
They just
who
put
can't
Dougie
score-
Hamilton on the PP1.
Oh,
okay?
They can't score a damn goal. On that
Oh,
team.
I wonder, man, could Jeff Skinner have helped with that? I wonder.
There's,
Poorly coached, poorly managed.
there's
End of
so
story.
many teams. There's 2 teams in the NHL where I'm like, the Leafs traded Josh Levo for a bag of lint. Like, why didn't you even take a shot? One is Carolina,
Yeah.
because they need goals, and we know he can at least
But
do
they're
that.
not good at trades.
And the other was, dude, Levo would be on... Honestly, they might play him with McDavid if he was on the Oilers. Some of the lineups they've iced this season. He'd probably be second line, I'd say.
Yeah.
He'd be a better option on the identity line on account of he's a hockey player. Like, the identity line, which they broke up, by the way.
The identity line.
The Oilers beat the Coyotes the other night. I'm amazed
Oh,
at
good for them.
how well. Wait though. So we were watching the front half of that, I guess, after Canada lost, and it was one of like 3 or 4 hockey games that had on that night. We had people over. And I'm amazed how many games this season the Oilers have been getting their teeth kicked in. I've turned the game off, only to find out that they won because McDavid did something unreal. He scored, 2 goals again? Mm-hmm. Anyway, yada, yada, yada. The Leafs got like a B prospect for Levo. Like, dude, Edmonton, take your shot. Carolina, take your shot. This is a guy who could get you... He's on pace for like 15 goals this year.
Before their win over, who was it, the Coyotes?
Yeah, they had like a 6-game losing streak.
I was going to ask you, when was their last regulation win? Can you take a guess?
It was before Christmas.
Well, that's not hard. That was like a week ago.
Well, fair enough.
Well, 2 weeks now, but...
No, not even, man.
The Tuesday would have been a week ago.
Before
you're
winter.
Right, you're right.
Before
Their
winter?
last win was in autumn.
I'm going to say December 15th, Jesse.
December 11th was the last time they won in regulation. No. December 14th. I missed the
Still,
Flyers win.
it's
December
January
14th.
4th. That's almost a calendar month.
Yeah. Anyways.
But no. And Ken Hitchcock is definitely turning the franchise around.
Go Oilers!
Yeah. Shirelli is back.
They could use
The Peak
Zaitsev.
Man.
Yeah, they could use
Ooh,
Zaitsev.
that sounds
Honestly,
like a team
though,
who could use Zaitsev.
Is that even a hot take? Their defense is that bad.
Yes. Adam, that'd be a disastrous trade for them, which is part of the reason I want them to make it.
The Jesse Puljujarvi for Zaitsev trade would be a disaster.
Okay, can I just say...
But which I don't know where that came from, by the way.
The only letdown of the Hall-Larson trade is that it was between the Oilers and Devils. There's nothing at stake there. If they make that trade and it's with the Leafs, Twitter would be on fire for literally a decade. You'd have to shut the site down. You'd have to stop it. You'd have to start something new. Call it Twidvine. Like, and just combine 2 dead platforms. It'd just be burned to ash. Like, we need an all-Canadian fleecing. And please let it be Toronto.
Be great. They do need a puck-moving defenseman. They really do, and Shirelli's out for it.
Zaitsev ain't that. But okay.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's not give away company secrets here, okay?
Yeah. There was. I can't remember which goal it was against the Wild. Was it the first one? Anyway, Hainsey was in the leave zone. He has 2 guys he can pass to, relatively wide open, but because he's left-handed and he's on the right side, his only option is to bank it off the glass. Can't get it out. Puck goes the other way. It's in the Leafs net. So I know I've ranted about, well, that handedness thing is overrated. Seems like in your own end it might come in handy.
That.
I get you.
I didn't mean that.
Yeah.
I didn't even mean that. There you go.
So does it surprise you that a guy like Elliot Friedman says that Sparks has not won the backup job?
That's
Getting
where
back
we
to
were.
that.
No. Because Mike Babcock is the easiest person to read on planet Earth. Has anyone ever been confused as to whether or not Mike Babcock likes them or not? But the only weakness of that man, I would say, is he gives up on people this fast. This fast.
Is that even a weakness in sports, though? Is that
No.
not what you want?
And really, of the players he's given up on, at least with the Leafs, who's he been wrong on?
Yeah.
No one so far, but the issue with Dubas's thinking, which I still agree with, like I still think it was the right move, and I would have made that move over and over again, is you need a little bit of cooperation, and it requires your coach to give the guy a shot.
He has.
Give the guy a chance.
Steve, he's given him a
he hasn't.
Steven.
He's only played him when he's been forced to. He's only played him when he's been forced to. Second half
Would
of the
you not?
back-to-back.
Would you not say the same about McElhinney?
Yes.
Was only playing second half.
But
Yes, but
McElhinney
that was then.
took
This
his
is now.
opportunities.
And McElhinney was successful.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. But you chose to go with the younger guy who has less experience. Like McElhinney has at least been facing NHL shooters in games and in practice for most of the past decade. Sparks, you had to have a little bit of patience with.
What do you say?
And Babcock had none. They only played him second half of back-to-backs and when Anderson was hurt.
What are you going to say to people who say Garret Sparks is 6-2-1 with a .905 save percentage, but a 3 goals against average? When they tweet, because this is what's going to happen. They're going to tweet the stats at you and go, look at this stat line. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Which I have to tell you, I think Leafs Twitter gives Garret Sparks a lot of leeway.
No, I think it's two factions at war.
Oh, okay, yeah. There is
Yeah.
the faction that gives him too much and the faction that gives him too little. I come up the center.
Yeah, I'm at he's been bad. Give him a chance to be good. Like, I don't know. And I just feel like it's... Now we're at this point in the season where it's kind of shit or get off the pot. Like, you got to make a choice because the trade deadline's coming. Well, if you had played him a little bit more in the first half...
I think Mike Babcock's just said, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
To me, I'm going, hey, play him more so you get a definitive answer. But the definitive answer is whatever Mike Babcock says. You know? So, listen,
now,
if the coach doesn't trust the guy, get a different guy.
if you want to get a sense of how insane Leafs Nation is, I just want to shout out Jeff Fayette for this one. He's on Reddit today, and I guess the talk on Reddit today is...
If someone said something ridiculous, you can count on Jeff to find it. Or have it tweeted directly at him.
He is a bit of a magnet for that.
Oh, yeah.
He is a bit of
My
a magnet.
goodness, man.
But this one's interesting because this is how insane just Leaf fans are. So, the Garret Sparks thing where William Nylander hits him in the helmet with the puck and he gets a concussion, which he's now out for. It sucks. It sucks that he was... Now, Garrett's down on the play, and William Nylander is also down on one knee on the play, too. Like, when he shoots the puck, he is actually down on one knee. It was one of those shots where your body kind of
Sorry,
overcommits.
I was like, wait, was he hurt? What?
So here's what Jeff tweeted, and it's... Yeah, I got to give Jeff credit on this, because this is Leafs Nation at its worst. He said... The Reddit post says... In the video of the shot, Garret Sparks flinched and turned his head so it hit him flush in the side of the mask, meaning his head absorbed all of the puck's force. If he didn't flinch, it glances off the front of his cage, minimizing force absorbed. Unfortunately, Garret Sparks did this to himself. So because he turned his head just a little to the left when 100-mile-an-hour slap shots coming at him.
That's so good. That's so much of sports Twitter in a nutshell. Because people will tweet that, like, here.
There's a picture of it, too.
Read it again. Read it again.
In the video.
Sentence by sentence.
I'm adding names. I'm paraphrasing just a little bit to add context. So Spark, because he says he and she, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
here, sentence by sentence.
In the video of the shot, he flinched and turned his head so it hit him flush in the side of his mask, meaning his head absorbed all of the puck's force.
Interesting. I hadn't considered that.
If he doesn't flinch, it glances off the front of his mask, minimizing the force absorbed.
You know what? That makes sense to me. And last year, Casimir Kaskisuo posted a video of him intentionally taking pucks to the mask.
Right.
And it was hitting him in the center, and it was absorbed by the mask, and he looked A-okay. You know what? So far, this all makes sense.
Did it to himself, I'm afraid.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? It's a microcosm of what I was talking about with the Maxime Comtois thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck you and your whole family, you're a dumpster fire garbage! Dude, what's wrong with you? Chill. What, I can't criticize him? No! What?
That's not criticism.
What? No. Okay,
That's not criticism.
Hey, he shouldn't have... Young goalies out there, don't turn your head to the side. All right, you know what? Valid feedback. I get it. You know what? What you said makes sense. Garret Sparks did this to himself. What's the matter with you?
Oh, you're bringing it back.
Oh, my God. And, like, Jesse's showing that, like, okay, so he brought up the post, and it shows the picture. He's making it seem like Sparks went, and turned his head.
I don't want to play tomorrow.
Completely to the side.
He moves his head like a millimeter. Like it's not. It's just the most ridiculous thing.
Is this the goalie equivalent of,
gosh.
like, well, he turned his back at the last minute in the corner. Don't do that, kids.
Oh.
Yes.
He
Did
got
it to
room
him.
from behind, but he was facing the wrong way.
Did it to himself, I'm afraid.
He had his head down in the middle of the ice. He got knocked over digital.
Gotta be prepared. Gotta come prepared.
You should have used a wood stick.
You think that Garret Sparks hasn't tried to overcome that actual normal human instinct to turn your head when something fast is coming at your face?
Yeah.
Like, that is every goalie's thing, is to try to go against every human instinct.
Yeah.
That's why goalies are so weird, man, is
Yeah.
they can do it.
Your job is to get in front of that thing that's coming crazily fast at you.
And your
not
body's telling
avoid
you,
it.
get the fuck out of the way, get the fuck out of the way, get the fuck out of the way. Why are you doing this? And you have to overcome that and try to stop that slap shot.
Oh.
You ever like cliff jumped at the cottage or something
Yeah.
like that? You're everything in your genetics is
just-
going, oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? No!
It's literally a
Yeah.
bunch of Steves going, no!
What? Why? Back up from this. Back up from this and get some food. What do you?
We don't have to do this.
Every
Why are you doing
animal
this?
instinct is get away, get away. This is terrifying, and you gotta force yourself to. Oh my god!
Did it to himself, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Now that would be an example of, Steve hurt himself cliff diving. Did it to himself, I'm afraid. Like, this is a little bit different.
Now, you said back up and get some food. If you were to order some.
Oh, this is the transition?
I think that was pretty good.
It was pretty good, actually.
Come on.
I like that.
Pretty good, like a Panago pizza. Pizza that we're in love with.
Yes.
I'm actually bringing up the menu right now. Pizza menu. Not only can you get some wings and that sort of thing, but like let's talk about this a little bit. What was the last Panago pizza you can remember ordering? Do you remember your? Because I switch up my order as much as I can now.
I think it was the taco one.
Carnitas taco pork.
No. Wait, what is that? Say that again.
There's the Carnitas pork taco pizza, topped with fresh salsa, pulled pork, red onions, mozzarella, sour cream, lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and cheddar.
You stop that right now, Adam Lab.
So if you were to take, hold on, here's a question, Jesse, weigh in on this. If you take the Carnitas pork taco pizza as a slice
That's a thing.
and you fold it in half,
Oh, gosh.
does the pizza
Thank
become
goodness.
a taco?
Or a calzone.
Hold on. Let me.
Wait,
I need to
Here,
take
I'll
a
send you
look at
them.
this.
I'll send you
a talk zone.
a talk zone. Just saying, is that officially what that is,
Is it soup?
Jesse? It's going to go in your Twitter DMs.
Is a taco a sandwich? So if this pizza is a taco and a
Top
taco
right.
is a sandwich,
It's
is
top
it a
right on
sandwich?
the menu board. Sorry,
What?
I just sent the menu to him.
That's interesting. See, I went through this phase.
I need a picture.
They have a picture. Oh, they don't have a picture.
I went through this phase where I would just get pizza with
go
as
with the
much
other
stuff
picture.
on it as possible, as many toppings as possible. I've gone back to just simple,
Really? Why is that?
just pepperoni in my life. Because I don't know, sometimes you just gotta simplify things. You just gotta get back to your roots.
All right, I got it.
Pepperoni, cheese, tomato sauce. It's lovely.
That's a taco. If
Thank
you
you.
fold that in half, that's a
Wow.
taco. I'm looking at the picture now. I got it. That's a damn taco.
That's a lot of toppings.
Because if you fold that in half and eat it in half, that's a taco.
Is it a sandwich?
No, you're folding it like a taco.
Yeah, and is a taco a sandwich?
No, it's a taco.
What if it closes? So if I fold it so that it's in a U, it's a taco. But if the two crusts at the edge touch,
That's a calzone.
is a calzone a sandwich?
Calzone is a calzone. It's a division of sandwich.
It's
Division of sandwich media.
So it is.
Thank you.
Well, we went here, there, and everywhere.
Steve, you said you
Order
were,
at panico.com and
Yeah.
stuff your face with deliciousness.
you said
That's
you
good.
were getting back to simplistic.
Yes.
Would you say simplistic like Jack Eichel's daily workout routine?
Okay. Do you understand how hard it's been to avoid this?
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. I didn't think you would.
read it yet.
Okay, so shout out to Alex Pruitt. If you want to follow Alex on Twitter, it's Alex_Pruitt.
He does good work, man.
Senior writer for Sports Illustrated, so you know he's pretty good at his job. And so he asked Jack Eichel about his routine and got the most detailed answer in the history of Sports Illustrated. And I said to Jesse, I looked at him like, do we have to do this on the show? This is on the morning show on Wednesday on our first time. Like, do we have to talk about this? Like, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm too lazy to read it.
So this was your Mike McKenna
And I said,
tweet.
Adam, don't be lazy. Read the damn thing. It's like a paragraph.
So I didn't read it. So I'm reading it for the first time with you.
Oh, great. This is great.
So Eichel says, I'm very big on my routine in terms of game day. I do everything extremely precise from the minute I wake up until the minute the puck drops. Nothing changes for me. The only thing that changes if we're on the road, I sleep an hour more. And so Alex says, okay, hit me. Eichel goes, I wake up, go to the rink, have egg whites, oatmeal, strawberries. Hopefully not all in one, because an egg white, oatmeal, strawberry omelet would be disgusting.
Blends them. He just grabs a fistful.
Of oatmeal. Puts it in a shake. I have an apple juice. I have a Gatorade with water. Then I have a Gatorade. Tape my sticks. Get on the ice. Pre-game skate. Get off. I get a flush from our massage guy on my legs. After that, I shower. Get into the cold tub for 4 minutes. Get out. Go home. Sam Reinhart, we live together. Now he lives like 4 houses down from me. Picks up our pre-game meal at a restaurant that we like. I go pick it up at his house, grab it, eat it at like 12:30, 12:31-ish in that area. I have a couple Pellegrinos with it, like those small bottles, so that's sparkling water.
Yep.
I sleep from 2 to 3:45, wake up at 3:45, put my suit on, go get a coffee, usually show up at the rink around 4:30, take a shower, go into the cold tub again, get out of the cold tub, get dressed, go to the training room, put on my Normatec pants, which I think are those big pants that look like spacesuit pants that Connor McDavid took a picture in. Normatec pants come off at about 5:05. Go cut a stick down, change my skate laces, tape my stick, go to a meeting, get out of the meeting, finish doing that, eat an apple, finish eating the apple, put a heat pack on my back, take the heat pad off my back, take 2 Advil. And then that's when the guy interrupts him and says, does it have to be the same kind of apple? And
I
Eichel
love
says,
that.
no, it changes depending upon where we are. The only problem is shitty apples. True. Good apples are hard to find certain times of year.
Okay.
So I do that. I usually change, get ready, foam roll, stretch, warm up, get my activation, finish, go back to the shower, get out of the shower. That's 3 showers a day, I'm counting. Start getting my gear on. Jock, socks, skates, lace my skates up. I lace 2 eyelets down, leave them untied, tie my right one, then tie my left one, then my right shin pad, then my left shin pad, take 2 electrolyte pills, get ready, take my bracelets off, chain off, same thing, chuck a stick of gum in, do the warm-up every time, do the same warm-up every time, get off the ice, get on the bike, do a minute hard on the bike after warm-ups with some of my gear on.
Wow.
Some of it is obviously taken off. Take my stuff off, then go to the training room. There's a tissue massage gun. Go into the room, retape my stick every single time. So every time he gets on the ice, he retapes the stick. Even crazier than that, I have my headphones on before the game. I listen to the same music at the same time. If I have my Normatec pants on, I have 3 songs that I listen to. I have 2 songs I listen to when I tape my sticks. I have a song I listen to when I foam roll. I have a song I listen to when I stretch. I have a song I listen to when I warm up, when I tie my laces. I have the same songs every single day. Depending upon what I'm doing, that is what I am listening to. And my throat hurts from talking that much.
Steve, what are your thoughts on Jack Eichel?
Is Jack Eichel okay?
No, he's a professional athlete.
Is he all right? Man, okay.
That is, I mean...
I love this stuff.
That is insane.
I love this stuff. But it's what makes that Doug Gilmour commercial, that Sonic commercial, so funny. What, you guys don't carb load anymore? For those of you who live in a part of the world where you don't get that commercial, it's Nylander, Gaudreau, and Drouin. And they're having their, like, ridiculous green shake or whatever. And then it's... I want to say Ken Dryden, Mike Vernon, and Doug Gilmour with an enormous bowl of pasta. And they're like, what, you guys don't carb load anymore? Because that's just the way it used to be.
Yeah.
Now it is this ridiculous, precise science, and hockey players are better than they ever have been, by and large. And there's just more involved. I want to hear, like, I'm going to make a bet right now. Eichel does not have the most ridiculous pregame or game day schedule in the entire league. There's no way. Someone is going to top this. I'm going to say within the next 2 weeks.
You think so?
Yes.
Well, now the question's going to be asked.
Oh, yeah. You got to.
Yeah, you do. It's
And
a
what
good
a
one.
gold mine for Alex Pruitt. This is all
Man.
he has to do for the rest of the season.
I mean, it will be. He's already peaked in 2019.
Already peaked.
Right?
The best part is just how Eichel gets into it. He says, I do everything extremely precise from the minute I wake up until the minute the puck drops.
Is it weird of me that I thought, okay,
Minute to
I
minute.
think he's kidding a bit.
No! He
I don't think he
described
is.
it in detail
Or
off the top
hamming
of his
it up.
head. Off top of his head, sorry.
is it weird to me, or is it weird that I'm not going to lie. I'm looking at CP24 right now, which is our local news channel. And I just saw someone's house come up on TV, and I said, "Oh, that looks familiar." And it is literally the neighbor next door, and it's for 3 people have just been arrested in a really bad crime outside of my house. So okay, anyway, that was literally the house next to my house, which is attached to my house. Sorry, I got distracted by that.
All right.
Literally, and then it was like, there it is. There's your laneway and everything. I was like, I'm not going to say where it is, but wow. Anyway. I wonder.
Moving on.
I wondered with Jack Eichel when he gets into a serious relationship, because this is where my head goes, and you're dealing with another human being at that point, right? You as much as people are like, oh no, you can't mess with my routine. There are going to be days where you say your partner's mad at you. Mm-hmm. So at what point in that schedule during game day? Because that bothers me. If Caprice is mad at me, I'm like, I gotta resolve this. I hate when anyone's mad at me. So I'm like. Well, I can't take my electrolyte pills right now because I need to figure out what the hell's going on. What did I do?
It's funny because John Tavares recently said the exact opposite. As he gets older, he's had less and less of a routine.
Really?
There's just too many variables in your life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
your life grows. Like Jack Eichel's in his early 20s. Mm-hmm. He probably doesn't have any other commitments, and that's cool.
Yeah, it's easy for it's when you're not married.
There's less commitment.
That is one of those
shocking
old guy things where I'm like, you know what? You don't know until you're there. And it's true. Like, yeah, life does completely change. Dude, even a girlfriend, like a steady girlfriend.
Two dogs.
I'm just going to ignore you all day.
Jack Eichel does have a girlfriend.
Oh
my goodness.
There's a thing.
Well, okay, girlfriend versus fiance or / someone living with you. Mm-hmm. I don't know if she does. I don't know. But it's different. Let's just say
versus
it's different.
Being in your early 20s versus your late 20s.
And if you have a kid, forget it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Ovi skipped the All-Star game. We'll be skipping the All-Star game. But what I love about it is that he was just up front and he was like, I'm skipping.
Yeah.
And it's funny that the NHL, I think they used to suspend you for that if you skip the All-Star game. Are they going to
They are.
They are
you
going to
can't play the next game?
No, so this is the interesting thing. He gets to decide the game he's suspended for. If it's the game, he can be suspended for the game before the All-Star game or after. Now, we're rooting for Ovechkin to suspend himself the game before the All-Star game because that is against the Leafs.
That would be good.
That would be very good.
That would be good.
So, Alex Ovechkin, thank you.
But now, if you're Alex Ovechkin and you're going for back-to-back cups, do you not look at that and go, oh, you're giving me a game off and the whole weekend off? Yeah, I'll take that.
Dude. So again, I went to the All-Star game in Columbus, and between the skills competition, which is on one day, and the All-Star game, which is the next day, you know what all the players were doing? Staying up till 5 a.m. and drinking. All of them.
Except for Jack Eichel, who was on a bike somewhere with half his pads on.
And getting a massage.
And
eating an apple.
Cold tub with shitty apples.
I brought Justin Fisher with me to Columbus, and he had a great story. He's like, hey, you'll never guess who I saw in the bathroom. And he says the player. I'll leave it alone. But he's standing at the urinal. He's got his phone in one hand, and he's looking at it, and he's texting someone, and he's got his beer in the other.
That's amazing. Good for him. You got to have some fun throughout the year, unless you're Jack Eichel.
Yeah, and they're... Jack Eichel.
No fun.
Barkeep, 2 electrolyte pills, please. And also 1 Gatorade with water, followed by a Gatorade with no water. That to me was the strangest part. Yeah. That was weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
I suppose I get it. And Ovechkin was one of the players I heard about who was just out and...
We saw it publicly when he won the Stanley Cup.
Okay, this should literally just be the invitation. Like, you know that honest movie trailers things? Here's an honest all-star invitation. Hey, you want to play a lazy game hungover? That's all it is to those players. If you've been before, which Ovechkin has been like a dozen times... Mm-hmm. No, I don't want to go, actually. I've done this.
And he puts on a show when he does go.
Oh, yeah.
It's a loss for the NHL. But it also, I mean, if people were like, oh, Ovi doesn't want to go, and complaining about it, one of them being Brett Hall, who I'm going to get to and read his quotes in a second. But Sidney Crosby, up until a couple of years ago, had been to like 1 in 10 years.
Oh.
Now, some of that was due to injury.
Yes.
Some of that was due to injury,
He skipped
quote
a
unquote
lot.
injury.
He skipped a lot.
So
the
no-
league's premier star.
And no one gave him crap for it. So Brett Hall said, I wish a guy like Alex Ovechkin would play. I know they get tired and whatnot, but I still think he should play. They should make it so he doesn't have to do a whole bunch of things, but the fans deserve to see a superstar like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has the option. He's taking it. He's missing the game.
Sorry, you made it. I thought it was going to be a lot more of a scolding, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, me
Do I
too.
got to prepare for this? But like, Mitch Marner's not going, and Braden Point's not going, and Morgan Riley is the leading defensive scorer in the NHL, and he's not going.
He might be voted in.
He might be voted in, but like that's how slim pickings it is for the All-Star game. It's the elite of the elite.
27-goal Jeff Skinner isn't going.
Yeah. Like if you need, holy shit, really?
Yeah, he's
Oh
not.
my god! So if you need like one player from every team, like dude, Kuznetsov, that guy's fun. Like he's gonna do all, he'll put the puck on a string like Tarasenko did at the KHL All-Star game that one time, or something ridiculous. Or he's gonna do like the eagle flap and then blast it top corner or something like that. Like, stop relying on the same 5 players to make hockey fun. Like it's annoying.
Well, then you got to brand more than 5 players as stars here. And I got to tell you, if LeBron James, which I would put Alexander Ovechkin in the top 3 players in the league. So LeBron James, James Harden, and say, I don't know, Jesse, who would you put in the
Kevin
third?
Durant,
Kevin
Steph
Durant,
Curry.
Steph Curry, something like that. You put them in that category. If one of them doesn't go to the All-Star game, it's a big deal. Yeah. And yes, Steve, there are other guys who are great too. But you can't tell me that Nikita Kucherov or any of those guys are on Alex Ovechkin's level outside of their local markets. They're just not. And with no offense to Kucherov,
I was about Kucherov is.
He's great.
But you mean in terms of profile?
in terms of profile.
Okay.
And Alexander Ovechkin is all over the NHL branding, as is Patrick Kane, or at least was, Sidney Crosby. Brad Marchand,
That's why you got to
Patrice
get Marner
Bergeron.
in there, man. Because he's all about fun.
Yeah,
He's all about fun.
I
You
agree.
should just have fun players.
Now, do you
Stop
agree with-
focusing so much on the best,
Do you agree with the argument that
even though he's both.
they should get rid of, and this I believe was a Patrick Kane argument, and many other people's argument too, that they should get rid of the every team must be represented rule?
I'm hesitant to say yes because it's easy for me to say.
Would you care?
My team's gonna have,
would
like,
you
3
have cared?
guys.
Would you have cared if Leo Komarov went to the All-Star game, or if he didn't go? Would you have cared? Because I'm going to go on the record and go, no, I would not have cared.
It would have been cool, but like I would love to know whose spot he took. You know what I mean? Like who was the best player left off that roster? Dude,
My
Keith
answer-
Yandel?
I know. Well, I was informed on Twitter that Keith Yandel's having a career year. I still don't care.
His
I still wanna
career
see-
year does not match Riley's career year. Sorry.
My
Does not.
answer for that.
It's not a career year. It's a NHL best year.
How about Carey Price has been trash?
100%.
Why is he going?
Why is Jimmy Howard going?
But
He's been better than Carey Price.
if you are 8 years old, if you're 9 years old, and you're a fan of the Florida Panthers, and you're at the All-Star game in San Jose, you are going to lose your mind when you see Keith Yandel. You're going to run up to him and ask for his autograph and be happy. And that's what the All-Star game is about.
No Florida Panthers fan is going to be in San Jose.
San Jose?
They'll be a kid. And that's what the All-Star game is about. Or even if the kid's watching it on TV.
See,
Yeah.
this is what I think the rule should be. There should be at least one player from the host city's team. Because I look at the All-Star game now. I in the past have been a little hard on it. And I think rightfully so. I don't think the entertainment value is really there on television. I think if you're there, it's a blast. And I think that's why it's a localized, amazing event for the city it's in. So I think that rule should apply. Maybe even say 2 players from the host team should make it. But I feel like if we're
Mike
truly
Komisarek
serious,
was an all-star when the game was in Montreal.
if we're truly serious about bringing the stars together, then it should be just the best. It should be just the guys who are having the best seasons. And Carey Price, I wouldn't argue as an all-star this year. I wouldn't even argue if we're going based on records and play. Carey Price would tell you Carey
But
Price
do
is
you
not a star.
understand
or
the
all-star.
idea of servicing all fans?
Yes,
really?
Well,
but
and
if
Price is
but my
if
thing
we're
is
talking
look at
profile
it
as a star.
Look at it as a local event, and that's how the NHL does look at it. It's a local hit. It does really well in its local market, and of course people watch
the Sharks.
it. Huh?
Have a 5th team that's just the Sharks. I'm serious.
Well, I mean, you could, but I guess my point here, guys, is
They have
that
the
it's
guys.
since it's a local event, make it great for the local team and have a couple guys on it. But don't worry about the rest of the markets because you're not going to win them anyway.
Friedman made, I thought, a great point. No one plays defense anyway, and it's 3-on-3. Don't worry about having X amount of defenders in there. Just have, I think it was Kiprios chimed in. He's like, have 18 centers. Mm-hmm. Dude, who cares?
Doesn't matter.
Dude, so wait. The Panthers have one guy going, and it's Yandel?
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
And it's not Barkov.
Barkov is not... They're not even sending the best Panther!
I assume Yandel got voted. Had the most
No,
votes.
he gets picked.
He got picked, yeah?
Yeah, and that's the thing is
Isn't
it? Here's what that opens up to. And I'm not going to suggest this happens, but I'm pretty sure we know this happens. Teams will call and say, we would prefer this player didn't go.
Whatever. Every year we say we don't care about the All-Star game, and every year we get bent out of shape about it.
I'm not bent out of shape. I'm just saying.
You're bent out of shape. You know what?
And it's good for the people that like it. It's good for the kids. I remember the All-Star game in Toronto when I was 12 years old. It was fun. But do I care about it now? Not really. Except for I'm happy for the guys that get the honor of saying, I am an All-Star.
And
good for them.
We sort of glossed over it earlier. The next gen game, I hope that's a staple in the Leaf schedule now.
Oh, that was
every
awesome.
year.
That was
it's
awesome.
Great. Once a year during the Christmas break, the school break, have the next gen game, and it's focused on the kids. Mm-hmm. I love it. I mean, it's easy for us to be like, 2 o'clock, Ember. The kids love it. I would love to know the ratings. I wonder if they were good. I mean, nothing else was on. 2 in the afternoon, I watched it.
Yeah.
Easy for me. I didn't have work that day. But like a lot of people don't. That's the whole appeal of that event, and a lot of people aren't at school. I don't know. Just me.
Can you imagine
Yes.
a
I
scenario
can.
where the St. Louis Blues...
Can I just mention something about that call?
Which call?
The I
Pierre
can call? So they do a replay of that on TSN on New Year's Eve. And before the Canada game. And
What, the Can You Believe It call?
They're doing that whole... And they cut it where he yells, I can! Can you believe that?
I wonder why.
You know why? Because it's a terrible call.
You know, it was also great in 93, 94, or whatever year, or whatever. We went on a road trip and won every game. Won every game.
I was sitting there watching, be like, oh, we're going to get here. I can again. This will be great. And then they fade out the audio and then it just goes into the cheers.
How many
I thought that was awesome.
calls in like any of the big sports can you remember as bad? You know what I mean?
You tend not to remember too many bad calls. Like, you remember the guy from the Panthers who used to just make random movie references.
But that's not like he meant to do that.
Yeah.
Make
because,
me a bicycle clown.
because it just
J-Bo Meester.
because there was nothing going on, right?
I'm a lead farmer.
Yeah. What's his name? Randy something?
Randy Moeller.
Randy Moeller.
Who used to be an NHL player. I did not know that. He's in Hockey Card Stories 1 with Ken Reed.
Wow.
Buy the audiobook. I did.
Well, I mean, there you go. I mean, it's a Jesus, but you don't often you often hear the announcer being highlighted for really good calls. Joe Bowen. Why am I spacing on the guy from Buffalo right now, who is an absolute legend?
Rick Jenneret.
Rick Jenneret, such a legend.
Mayday.
Jim Houston, noted Canucks fan, and every time he does Hockey Night in Canada, Leafs fans get all bent out of shape, which makes me laugh, because who cares? Everybody has a team.
No, Adam.
No.
Broadcasters are objective and don't care.
Every time someone tells me, like, you know
The
what,
Leaf
I
fans
used to be-
legitimately think Jim Houston, no matter who they play, is rooting against the Leafs. I just want to throw that out there. It's like, come on, guys.
Every
he doesn't care.
Every guy who's like, you know what, I used to be a fan, but like, I don't know, I'm not anymore. It's like, yes, you are.
Yeah.
You just repress it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I suppose you need to for your job.
Who would repressing what? Fandom?
Like anyone who works in sports got into sports because they were a fan
Yes.
of a player or a team. And so, I grew up as a this guy fan. Okay, so you're a fan of that team. Like, you have a soft spot for...
Whenever-
I grew up as a Gretzky fan. Oh, so you're an Oilers fan.
Yeah.
Broadcasters all the time are like, no, I'm objective.
No.
But no.
Mostly journalists, and I think that's fair. You're supposed to try to be.
Yes.
No, but even them, I'm like, stop.
I believe in their writing, in what they perform. They're objective in that.
I would agree with
but
that.
I believe that they are also fans of players and teams.
Sure.
Is that fair?
I think it's possible to I think it's especially when it's not like politics or something that actually matters.
Yeah,
I think it's
sports.
possible to be a fan of a team on the sly and still look at them objectively and go,
Exactly.
"This is garbage," and I expect better.
Exactly.
Right?
I respect
I agree
Ken
with
Reed
that,
for being
100%.
like, I grew up a Habs fan.
Yeah.
And I love it. And that guy's an anchor.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Habs fan, and I don't really like basketball.
Do you think that,
He's maybe a little bit too honest.
Do you think that Ken worries about what anyone thinks about Ken?
Absolutely not.
I wish I had that give a shit level.
He's such a free man. I
He
just
is.
Love Ken Reed.
He is. He's the kind of guy you can have a disagreement with,
Yes.
and then go for a beer with afterwards. He's the
Yes.
best. I need to. We need to hit him up on just the how do we divorce ourselves of that sort of give a shit level? Because sometimes we're good at it, sometimes not.
Next time we have him on, I'm just going to hand him a paper of just words I want him to say. Charizard.
I want to quickly mention the Senators are going to have to use mediation to solve the dispute with the LeBreton Flats. If that doesn't work, then it's going to get really ugly. But at least they're trying.
Sure.
Points for trying.
Sorry, it's my least favorite thing to discuss.
We're not getting any further
Every
into it.
time.
I'm just throwing it out there. Just thought you should know. Alex Pietrangelo. Can you imagine a world where he's not with the Blues, Steve? Quick answer on this one. I need
Yes.
a quick answer. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a world where Vladimir Tarasenko is no longer with the Blues?
Okay, I did not know he's been awful.
And also apparently not well liked.
Oh, on the team?
I'm not saying on the team. It seems as though there seems to be and I don't know if it's a media thing or a fan thing, or a management thing, but there seems to be like the Blues aren't doing well, and a lot of this is on him. And that might be because he's got a huge contract and he's been bad.
I mean, who
Or
on
not
the
as
Blues
good.
has had a great season?
But like, who on the
It's a
Blues has
short
had a
list.
great season in the last couple of years? And they're all talented.
Tarasenko,
Okay.
at very least. But no, he's been... Jesse's got his season up. What's his season total?
This year,
Yes.
it's 11 goals, 11 assists, 22 points in 37 games.
That's not good enough.
Not good enough. Not even close
But
to good enough.
go look at his game logs. His last 20 games or something like that. It's like he started meh, but his last 20 games have been so
Give me one
bad.
second.
That's one of those things where, it's like when Price was struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess he has been. And people have been like, well, Habs are going to have to trade him. You know how hard it is to trade a contract that huge? Tarasenko, same deal. Like, it should be easy to move him. No. If you're looking to trade this player, it's because you regret the contract. And that is a big contract to regret.
I'm looking that up right now. I want
Tarasenko's last 19 games, if my math is correct, 37 minus 18, 19 games, he has 5 goals and 1 assist. 19
What
games.
does the guy make? 9.5?
Is that?
Something
I
like
don't
that?
have cap front.
He makes a lot of
Give
money.
me 1 second.
Holy
7.5.
There you go.
7 at what?
7.5.
Oh, wow,
But
that's
remember,
a
that
lot
deal
better
was
than I
signed in the
thought.
2015-2016 season, and that was big at the time.
7.
But for a guy who at one point was a 40-goal scorer, $7.5 million seems about right these days.
It's such a shame because I feel like the Blues sort of need to blow it up because they got this.
Aging,
They're bad for no reason.
they should be really
I mean,
good.
I suppose they're slow, but they should not be this bad.
But look at the top 6: Tarasenko, O'Reilly, Steen, Bozak, Perron. Like, that's not bad.
And Jaden Schwartz and Braden Shen. Braden Shen's having a bad season too. Like almost every one of these guys is having a bad season.
I also think they brought Perron in after a season where he was much better than Perron normally is.
That's fair.
Their defense. I mean, okay, Pietrangelo good, Parayko good. The ghost of Jay Bouwmeester.
Yeah, I think he might be done.
Yeah, but then after that,
Leaf great Carl Gunnarsson.
He's still playing?
Only 32. Making $2.9 million on the back end.
That
of
is
St.
way too much
I
money
think he
for
might
Carl
have a bit of
Gunnarsson.
a tough time getting a job after this one.
Yeah.
Well, because part of the reason the Leafs traded him is he had an injury, and they're like, we don't think he's going to be the same after that. And hasn't quite been. I loved him. I loved him as a Leaf.
I did too. I look at it and kind of think that they're definitely underperforming, but it seems like goaltending is always the issue there.
Apparently, Jake Allen's been excellent recently.
Really?
Yeah, he's one of those storylines that we need to catch up to. He's so bad. No, apparently he's been good.
Okay.
So
there could be
901 on the season.
not a one on the season, but like
Recently. You're saying he's been good?
yeah, like maybe a month.
If he's been
Okay.
good for the last month, that means he was bad the month before. If he's only at a 901.
Right. And like legendarily.
Yeah, that's
like,
pretty bad.
terribly,
That's still
terribly
not
bad.
good enough. Let's just put it that way. And I just can't. Can you imagine a world where Pietrangelo and Tarasenko are traded in the same season?
Might not just be them. I think I say this every year. It could be a wacky trade deadline, but like we're gonna see. I think there's gonna be a trend of players moved with term. You know what I mean? Players with term
Because
moved.
it seemed like a couple years ago the term was like, oh no, we don't want any term. I don't want commitment. Now it's like, well, it's cost control.
Yeah,
At least I know what he can make.
Exactly. At least I know what he makes. And here, you take this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're willing to pay more to get the term.
Because we've realized, it actually benefits us in the long term.
Tampa was like, okay, we're going to give you all of this, New York, so that we can contend this year and next. Which, great deal, I think. Like, if you're going to buy.
Don't half-ass buy.
Don't go,
Like
what
what
can
the-
I get for this many?
Don't do the Golden Knights last year and halfway commit to getting Erik Karlsson and then end up with Thomas Tatar and not play him.
They should have just paid what it would have cost to get Erik Karlsson.
Bingo. They'd have had him last year. They'd have had him this year.
And this year. And I mean, the Golden Knights, by the way, second in the Pacific.
I know.
There's another one we got to catch up to. They've been good.
We can't cover every storyline.
No, I know. Of course.
So when you tweet us that, and I understand if we're not talking about your team enough, I get it. But we are trying. We do a show twice a week, man.
Yeah, I know. Well, and another storyline, Leafs might get Thatcher Demko on Hockey Night in Canada because the Canucks called him up. He's a Canucks fans are real excited about this guy. He's their Carter Hart.
Yeah, he's the goalie of the future, except for so is Mikey DiPietro too. And watch, they'll end up with both of them traded like Schneider and Luongo.
No. Don't you wish that evil on them, Adam?
By the way, one St. Louis Steve Dangle tie-in on this week's By the Numbers.
Oh, so what's up?
It is up. It
Oh,
came out
great.
today on sportsnet.ca. Andrew Berkshire answered the question, what is Vladimir Tarasenko doing differently this year, and why isn't he scoring?
Do we have an
don't.
answer?
It's a long answer. It's a whole
Can we forward
article.
to the bottom where he sort of sums it up in the conclusion?
No, or we could just promote the article. Does Adam have time for Berkshire's Berk
Yes,
shit?
but give me something.
The Blues and Tarasenko are clearly under some sort of dark cloud of bad fortune this season. But if St. Louis does panic and decide to trade him, whichever team gets him can expect the vintage version.
There you go.
This struggle can't last forever. There you go, Adam. You got your answer.
That's all I wanted to know. And
Fast
in
forward
it,
to the bottom.
this is called the 80-20 rule. You give people the answer, and then they want to find out why. It's a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Hear that, Berkshire? You piece of garbage.
Give them the end, and then they come back for the reasons why, because it's
Adam
not about
doesn't
the
have
end.
Time for your trash, Berk trash,
Burke
Trashshire,
tire trash. Yeah. Sorry.
Dumpstershire.
Dumpster shire.
Anyways, a whole bunch of answers on there if you want to learn about other teams in the NHL, like Johnny Gaudreau's performance.
I called him Gaudreau earlier. It felt dirty. I didn't mean to. Just sort of came out. What? What?
This is one of my favorite quotes of the week.
I just decided to get aggressive.
One of my favorite quotes of the week, and it comes from Darren Dreger of TSN, and he says, and Nichols on Hockey tweeted this out and did sort of a recap here, and I can read a little bit of this for you. But basically, Darren Dreger said, the issue in Edmonton is that there are too many holes to plug, and Chiarelli can't plug them all.
Yeah.
And people responded, you mean like the holes he created, right? Now, I don't know if that's totally fair.
Okay.
I'm going to argue for Pete Chiarelli's...
Oh dear. Back-to-back shows of Chiarelli defending?
I'm going to defend him on this one point, which is, has Peter Chiarelli made terrible trades?
Yes.
Yes. Are the Edmonton Oilers ultimately worse off than when he took over?
Boy.
The answer to
I mean-
that question is yes.
I mean, technically, no.
But
Because
yes.
they were bad when he took over.
But yes.
And now they're bad again.
Chris Russell, Milan Lucic, Cam Talbot worked out for one season. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll just be honest with you. I think that if Peter Chiarelli could restart this, he would. But I would also say that he wasn't exactly handed the keys to the Lamborghini either.
No, the guys.
He was
the guys
given
they fired are still there.
That's the.
They're still there. Like again, they fire Chiarelli, nothing gets solved.
And they had.
That's the scariest thing.
They had no defensive depth before. Not that now Chiarelli hasn't improved that, but they still had no defensive depth.
Their AHL team is not awesome. They got a few guys who are maybes. A couple guys who are likable. Yamamoto, I think, is going to be decent. Ethan Bear? Is that his first name, Ethan? He looks like he could be some. But, boy, they don't have much on the team, and they don't have much in the cupboard. It's not a great combination.
Yeah.
That and a lot of term. Everything's bad. Everything's bad about it. And I don't think it's good for the NHL that Edmonton is... It's not good when you have a team that always sucks.
It's also not good when the best player in their league plays for them.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that. It's not good. It's not good when you're reigning MVP.
No,
his team is in last.
Connor's not allowed to win the MVP because his team doesn't make the playoffs.
Well, I'm talking about Taylor Hall.
Oh, okay.
Like
well,
I'm like it's
neither Connor McDavid nor Taylor Hall can win the MVP this year.
Yeah.
Because neither of their teams are going to the playoffs.
Like last year it was like, Taylor Hall won, and this year it's like they've both lost.
But it's also unfortunate when your MVP is traded for a third-line defenseman.
I mean, he's sort of a second Jesse. No, I'm just twittering you. No.
Actually.
But actually his numbers... Well, it's true.
No, nothing about it.
Nothing about Adam Larson is really that. It's too bad. Although he did have, and I think in NHL 2012 with Jonathan Toews on the cover, if you drafted him, he had a A- rating in potential.
Oh, yeah.
So I used to draft him every year
yeah.
because I would trade with whatever team was going to get the first overall pick. So.
And my team also had Dan Blackburn.
Dan Blackburn.
And Patrick O'Sullivan. And Mark Svatos.
Marc-Andre Bergeron.
Yeah. Patrick O'Sullivan was great in NHL.
So good.
I almost said Stephen Avery.
Sean Avery?
Sean Avery, not Stephen Avery.
Making a pest.
Sean Avery.
Making a
best
nuisance.
The making of a nuisance. I want to play a clip for you before we get to the press conference. Stephen, The Bachelor is back on Monday, don't you know? And we were sent this no less than 1 million times. And actually, it first came up on... by the way...
I couldn't help but see this.
We haven't mentioned this, but Jesse and I are now doing a morning show at Virgin Radio here in Toronto.
Yeah.
We should probably mention that.
You guys never mentioned giant events. Oh, Adam's going to have a baby. Oh, Adam's got a morning show.
Yeah. So we got...
Oh,
so
Jesse's also doing that morning show.
That was our huge announcement, but we heard from all the podcast listeners anyway that follow us. So, hey, thank you so much. And we're super pumped about it. But we were talking about this morning with TJ.
Whatever.
And...
oh, my God.
So... I thought immediately when I saw this of Sasky Stewart, because this accent is so bad. This is a woman who...
No. Just play it.
Just play it. All right, fine.
Just play it and we'll explain it after.
Colton, what's your name?
Bree.
Bree.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You got a nice accent. Where are you from?
The accent, it's Australian. I was hoping that you're kind of a sucker for accents.
I
didn't know
am.
what you think about it.
I love it. I'll see you inside, all right?
Okay, sounds good. I'm not really Australian, but you have to do what you can to stand out.
Now, if you see the person in question, they don't really need an accent to stand out. They're quite fetching. She's a beautiful woman.
I know, Roo. Adam, by cracky.
That accent is so bad.
Sorry. I'm rooting for Ha because my fellow Australian. Because I have that accent too. Jesus Lord, it's so bad. Okay, is her plan to actually do this for like 2 months?
We need a watch to find out.
Oh, yeah, this is one we're going to have to keep tabs on.
So, you are going to stand out. He's going to be like, oh, that's the doctor. Oh, that girl's pre-med. And there goes the liar.
Well, okay, so...
What, are you going to marry this guy and talk Australian for the rest of your life?
So TJ said this morning, and he was on your side on this one, he said, like, if I found out, if I'm the contestant and I find out, I'm upset about that, and I kick her out. I send her home because our relationship is built on lies. And I said to him, this is a contest. She's doing what she can to win. It's his fault that he didn't pick up on the accent, let's be honest. And second...
Is it his fault?
It is totally. It's
Or
not a
is
good
she
accent.
lying?
It's an awful accent.
And also, it's a contest. She is a contestant, which means that she's doing what she can to win. And I would respect that because that's the position I've met her in. I met her in those circumstances.
She's willing to lie to get your love. This girl's literally Satan. Jesse, we now go live to Australian Jesse to find out if he thinks it's a good accent. No. Did you? Okay, can we have a new mug that says Noroo? Get on that. Noroo. Noroo.
N-A-R-U?
Do you remember her bio?
No, I don't.
Because she was one of the ones I had picked out.
Oh. What was her name? What was her name?
Noroo, I don't.
I think in the show they're going to go with Brienne, but on the website they go with Brie. She was the 24-year-old model from L.A., and she was the one who said her biggest dating fear, farting too loudly. You remember that when I brought that up?
Wow.
Noroo, I don't.
No?
That's
She was the
literally
farting
Caprice.
too loudly girl.
It's literally my wife. That's fine.
What? So what's her name?
Brienne.
And they're choosing to call her...
I'm not sure if they're going to go with Brie or Brienne during the show.
She should just change her name as well. What's her name?
She's now Jessica.
Sydney Canberra. From Queensland. Like, just go all out.
Yeah.
She should have wore...
She's from Sydney. Yeah,
She should have... Can you imagine? She just gets out of the limo. That's not a knife.
This is a knife.
This
Yeah.
is a knife.
Remember we were talking about like the DJ. They got to bring out props for the DJ. Like bring out the turntable.
Yeah.
They should bring out a barbecue for me. Sorry, this is just the most ridiculous thing I've
Fun
ever heard.
fact.
She's gonna pretend to be someone else.
Fun fact about Australians, they don't actually have shrimp on the Barbie.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why it's so annoying to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they hate
Are
it when
any
people say
Australians annoyed by this?
shrimp on the Barbie?
Oh
Because
my
it's not a thing in
God.
Australia.
I also
so
would
funny.
like to know how many people have quoted Crocodile Dundee at Australians. Like our Aussie
No,
listeners.
it probably
Like,
doesn't happen.
No.
Hey, Australians, how awesome is it to have the same three things said to you by everyone in the world?
And for some reason, nobody associates AC/DC with Australia. I think they're like, they're some kind of Scottish or something.
Yeah.
No.
And they don't get any credit for AC/DC, but that is their band. That's their band.
No.
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 They're-
No, what?
No,
Sorry, what
they're-
was
they're
that?
Canadian.
Australian, Jesse? What?
They're Canadian.
They're
'cause I
Canadian,
said
that's
so.
right.
Yeah, because apparently you can just make things up and that's okay because I'm a contestant in life.
You know what, man? Give this girl credit.
No.
She stood out. And she's an actress from Los Angeles who happens to be quite stunning. And really, she's on the show to get an acting job.
She's not
we all
an
know
actress.
that.
She's a model.
Oh, well, she's not going to get any modeling gigs because she's on every promo now.
Is she-
Mission accomplished. She doesn't care if she wins.
So is she the... Every year there's a contestant who's clearly not there to win.
They're just there to be
get
seen.
famous.
So
I
she's
think
that
this has
one.
got to be.
Yeah, she's Waboom.
Okay, she's going to get a small bit part in a movie. I'm predicting this right now. She's going to get a small bit part in a movie.
In an Amy Poehler movie.
And it... No.
Amy Schumer, sorry.
Amy
I meant to
Schumer.
say Amy Schumer.
Have
My
to
bad.
put some respect on Amy Poehler's name, sir. She's going to be in an Amy Schumer movie as her Australian friend.
Oh, that would
I
be
think
funny,
it'll
actually.
happen.
That'd be really funny. I'd respect that.
It's
that.
a road trip movie.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
they
yeah.
all are.
Yeah, like stupid but funny.
Yeah.
All the same. Yeah, I'm into it. Anyway, mad props to this girl for doing it. And here's the other thing. Somebody on Instagram, so Jesse made this beautiful video on our Instagram we were talking about it, and someone said, she never said she was Australian.
Oh.
She just said, if you
Yeah.
go back and you listen to it, she said, I thought you might be into accents. So she can get out of this and say, I never lied to you. I just gave you an
You
Australian
know what's
accent.
great? Okay, so there's like... In the first week, there's like 45 girls or something like that. Every time she speaks to them, different accent.
That'd be brilliant. Or she just drops it after the first meeting and goes, yeah, see, I fooled you. Then it's cute and funny. I'm telling you, this person, she's a thinker.
She's
I
gonna get
respect
voted
this.
out, like, or whatever it's called, like first time, and he's gonna like not even know her name. He's just gonna go you.
Naru.
Naru. Here's your Roos or whatever.
And with apologies to our good friend Sasky Stewart, who's probably vomiting somewhere after listening to that.
Just in a circle.
just projectile.
Hates me.
All right.
I love the Amy Schumer movie idea. I'm a big picker. What? What?
She's a backpacker.
Australians, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Actually, I worked with
my
a guy in Australia. His name's Simon Mitchell, and he used to be on the air here, and then he was back on the air there at like Nova in Sydney, Australia. Now I think he's just a personal trainer because he was Narva. And anyway, he was in I think he was in Sydney, and I think he was in Adelaide as well. And anyway, he said the way to learn how to do an Australian accent for a North American is the word toast.
Okay.
So he'd say it like toast. Toast. And he said that's the first word that you teach someone else. That's how you speak Australian is the toast. And then he said then you go from there.
What is that?
I know.
want to crawl under a table.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Are you that embarrassed?
Something about this. I don't know.
Oh my God, relax, man.
I don't know.
We've said way more embarrassing shit than
about,
this.
Like, I'll do any accent. And then if you're like, do a Scottish accent in front of Sarah Louise, I'll be like, no.
I still haven't heard her speak Scottish. And don't get me wrong. I know Scottish is somewhat English, but it's not fully English. It's Scottish.
No. First of all,
it's its own language.
Said this before, but her dad dumbs it down for me. Her mom doesn't care about any of that, and she just uses all the slang, and I just need to learn it. There was a barbecue a few months ago, and my parents were there, and they obviously haven't spoken to my mother-in-law as much as I have, and they're just just politely listening to what she's saying, and they're like, what the fuck?
Well, it's because one of the funniest bits Robin Williams ever did was the drunk with the Scottish guy.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then you're like, yeah, sure, yeah. And like that's the only thing you understand.
Oh, fuck, sure.
Oh, fuck.
Well, and he's probably like doing like Glaswegian.
Oh, heavy.
He's not,
heavy.
No, but.
Oh, like northern?
SL's family is Aberdeen.
How do they say it in Scottish?
No.
You won't do it?
No.
She's not going to listen.
No.
Does she listen this deep into the show?
Sometimes. You never know.
Let's do the press conference.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
This is from Lurker Rush Meta. Got 23 whole upvotes on Reddit.
We've been getting some Reddit complaints. And Jesse's not here for it.
What are the complaints about?
Adam and Steve.
We need to do a 20-question...
Everybody wants their question answered on the press conference.
Oh, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's essential.
Here's the thing about life. You don't always get what you want. So...
Wow.
I want to own a Lamborghini.
Wow.
I cannot afford one.
I want to be good.
What if you asked it in a press conference?
Maybe then, but only on Reddit.
Adam and Steve, how can you name Dallas and Ottawa as the worst organizations in the league when Edmonton exists?
I never said that. Adam did. Sorry.
I said they just were more dysfunctional than Ottawa. I didn't say that. They were any worse.
Let me finish the question.
Oh, okay.
How Adam and Steve? I'll start from the beginning.
My bad.
Adam and Steve, how can you name Dallas and Ottawa as the worst organizations in the league when Edmonton exists? When was the last time Edmonton properly won something that wasn't a draft lottery? In terms of organizational dealings, so trades, signing, /extensions, scouting, and drafting, that sort of thing.
Wait, so are you saying to take Dallas out or take both Dallas and Ottawa
They're
out?
saying Edmonton wins the worst, most dysfunctional.
I think what they're saying is we're not hard enough on Edmonton.
I think we are.
I'm sorry, listener who's been in a coma for a year. Have you not seen? Have you not caught up on what the Senators have done in the past year? I was ripping on the Oilers, but Jesus Murphy,
Yeah.
the Senators have been nothing but hits. They were Rihanna like a few years ago. Just everything is a banger.
They're Rihanna when R9 comes out.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Whoa.
I don't know what that actually means.
That's her next album.
But I went with it.
Keep going.
Yeah. Like, dude, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm glad to hear you're awake and you seem to be doing well. Your typing skills are there. Edmonton wins on consistency.
Yes.
Yes.
Ottawa, Ottawa's 2018 was Britney Spears' 2007.
Yeah.
It's that year that we know. We know what happened, man. And we're glad that she came back.
Mm-hmm.
She's made some bangers after that. She's doing well.
Yeah,
She's made more money since then than she ever did before.
Oh,
Sure.
Well more.
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean, yeah. She was famous from 97 to 2007, right? Mm-hmm. Made a lot of money.
And then people like literally tortured her.
Yes. And she was surrounded by awful people. And then
Yep.
she got her life together, sorted it out with her father. Her father became the guy that controlled everything in her estate and everything in her life. And since then has passed the reins back to her.
I heard about that. That's so
and she's
messed
made hundreds of millions of dollars since.
And even on the Dallas side, Edmonton's owner didn't call out McDavid and Draisaitl for being pieces of shit.
Well, also
and
he
not
can't.
playing well.
Also, we'd be like, Daryl, what do you want?
Fucking horseshit.
Like,
Daryl.
so,
Daryl, what are you on?
so I
Daryl's-
think those were kind of two bigger tire fires than just consistently bad trading.
When has a president of a team ever come out and gone, fuck our stars?
Right? Literally.
Literally.
Star.
Fuck the
Apparently-
stars of the stars.
Apparently, Jamie Sagan, Tyler Sagan scored the next game. Everybody in the arena on their feet except for Jim Lights. Someone took a picture of him, and he's just sitting there.
I'm not happy.
That's just one game.
Give me my millions of dollars. Sorry, it's a bit
It was him going, see, I was right.
I like Jesse's version of like a cartoonish billionaire.
Yeah.
Picks
Cigar
up
in
his
his
phone.
mouth.
Yes, get me oil, please. Hello, is this oil? Great talking to you. Put gold on the phone.
Now screw me some gold, Jimmy Ben.
Gold, you old bastard. How are you? No, dude. Edmonton, yes, duly noted. Terrible.
Yes.
Ottawa has been nothing but hits.
A couple of people have pointed this out, but we missed the fact that the Spengler Cup champion, Cal Paz, head coach, is Kasperi Kapanen's dad, Sammy Kapanen. Yeah, we missed that when we were going through the team.
Oh, wow. I didn't
know that.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Sammy coaching that team. That's pretty cool.
Way to go, Kalpa.
This is it got 7 upvotes, so I'll ask it, Reddit. Thoughts on this? Since players were not allowed to go to the Olympics, they should boycott the All-Star game until they will be permitted to go again.
We'll file that under things that are easy to say when there's nothing at stake for you.
Is that a question, or is that just a, hey, I have an opinion?
Since thoughts on this
thoughts on
is
it.
what it said. Since players were not allowed to go to the Olympics, they should boycott the All-Star game until they would be permitted to go again.
Maybe that's what Ovechkin did. Maybe.
I also think, too, like, you have a limited time in the NHL. It's like, it's not forever. Like, we have careers that last 45, 50 years. NHL players might get 10 if they're lucky. So you sort of do have to take advantage of those periods of time.
If you've never been to the All-Star game before, like Mitch Marner, none of those guys, I don't think anyone who's been asked to go to the All-Star game for the first time is saying no.
No. But,
It's
like,
guys
Ovechkin's
like
been like 12
Pavel
times.
Datsyuk and, Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby, and, like, it's just not special to them.
And they also start to get old.
Yeah.
Like, it's different when you're over 30.
And it's just a giant piss-up.
Yeah.
They just go and get friggin' drilled. And it's not a rest for them. And, like, that guy's married now. Doesn't he have a kid?
Yes.
He wants to win the cup again. Like, no.
I like this question. It's from Rob with the hair. It says, question from the girlfriend. Has Steve always shouted so much? Why is he angry? I thought the Leafs were good. So that's a girlfriend who listened to the podcast, clearly.
I understand your confusion. And I want to first point out that you're a champion for clearly listening to the show, and clearly not enjoying it at all. Yes, I have always yelled. It's just gotten louder over the years. First, I was mad when they lost. Now, I get mad when they lose because there's actually something at stake, because they shouldn't lose because they're good. That's how it works.
All right. This one's from Povilitus.
Yeah.
Only 3 current Leafs players remain from the 2014 Winter Classic against Detroit. Without looking it up, who are they? Adam and Steve, combine your brains and come up with the 3 Leafs.
Question one more time.
Only 3 Current Toronto Maple Leafs players remain from the 2014 Winter Classic against Detroit.
And that's when they did the ice thing. The documentary about the
It's
like
HBO.
24/7.
Brad
24/7.
Boys is poised. Like that voice guy. It's like, and here's David Booth, who once scored 40 goals with the Panthers and
he's
he's
that
heading
actor.
to Europe next year.
Liv Schreiber? What's his
I
name?
don't know.
He was like Wolverine's foil one year.
Yeah. Oh, he does a great job voicing it. But
forget
it's like the Leafs that year were pathetic.
Yeah, 2014.
P.A. Parento is leading
But
this
they
team.
won.
They won.
No,
They didn't win that game.
2014 wasn't PA Parento. They did win that game.
Detroit?
The big house in Detroit.
Yeah.
The
They won
Leafs.
They won that game?
Yeah, their first loss
Was
outdoors
Bernier
was
the
last
guy?
year.
Yeah,
Bernier was in that.
Was that Horacek or Carlisle? Or was that good one,
Carlisle.
Randy?
That was a good one, Randy.
Oh, I thought it was that.
That was
after.
Toastergate, was it not?
Yeah.
Yes, it
good.
was.
Toastergate, yeah.
Right.
I have
Okay.
a
Fair
theory
enough.
about concussions. That year was very good. I'm going to go with Nazem Kadri,
Ah, ding ding.
Jake Gardiner,
Ah, ding ding.
and a young Morgan Riley.
Ding 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 ding.
Got it.
3 for 3.
I have to be honest with you. That's pretty easy.
The follow-up
Like-
comment on Reddit was, "This is so easy."
Yeah, of course it is. That's embarrassing.
Some
We
of
can't
the
get that right.
some of the other players on that roster were Jay McClement, Colton Orr,
He probably played 18 minutes that night, Jay McClemens.
Paul Ranger,
Ooh.
Mason Raymond, Jonathan Bernier, David Clarkson, Cody Franzen, Carl Gunnarsson, Peter Holland, Phil Kessel, Kuhlman, Lupul.
That
coach
one
Randy
season
Carlyle.
with the Leafs made Mason Raymond $9 million more
It's just a
because he signed with Calgary the next year for
Different
3
life.
years, $9 million.
it's just a lifetime ago.
I know, it feels like forever. Remember Cody Franzen? The Leafs offered him a 5-year, $25 million extension, and he turned it down.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, and then he was like, "No, I'm going to free agency," and
He has
nobody signed
gotten
him.
some poor advice. that man
They're always
has.
Cody Franzen's a weird one because you see certain players who are super talented. P.A. Parento is another guy where you go, there always seem to be some sort of mini controversy surrounding that player.
Yeah.
And at what point is it stop being the team's fault?
Yeah, Parento was that guy. We were like, Montreal was stupid. They treated him like shit. And then like he was fine with the Leafs, but then he kept having conflict after, and we're like, maybe P.A. Parento is exhausting.
And I don't know that Cody. I'm not saying that Cody Franzen's exhausting. I don't know, but like there always seemed to be like a thing with him. There
Yeah.
was always a thing.
Yeah.
Like, why is there a thing? There was a thing in Nashville. There's a thing in Toronto. I don't get it.
Happens.
Marner, Riley, Anderson. Who deserves to be an All-Star the most? From Canada Q.
That's tough because Marner's the best player.
Riley's having a Norris season.
Anderson's better than Howard and Price, but Vasilevsky's probably better. And yeah, Riley's the top scoring defender. That's the one I can't get past.
So if you were to take the top scorer in the NHL and not put them in the All-Star game, like say they were not injured, and you didn't pick them for the All-Star game, there would be an absolute outcry.
like who's leading right now? Kucherov still? It's like if you didn't invite Kucherov.
So it's ridiculous that a guy like Morgan Riley, who's leading defenseman,
Yeah, I'd say
isn't in.
Morgan Riley not making it is more ridiculous than the other two, but Marner not making it is pretty
ridiculous. Anderson not making it, I'm like, well, the
And
goalies
Matthews
and
made a
whatever.
great point. Like Matthews, because he got voted, right?
Yep.
And
Did he
he's
get
like-
voted?
Yeah,
I think
that's why
so.
he was the captain.
Is that how that
the top
works?
four? The top four are the only people who are voted in. The rest are chosen by the NHL.
And he even said, he's like, man, like I look at my season and I missed all that time. Like maybe one of the other guys should.
It would be
gone.
nice to be able to pass it off as like a gesture.
Yeah,
But then the fans voted for you, right? So
Yeah. The current scoring, Mitch Marner's 6th in league scoring. He's not in the All-Star game.
Gee.
And
Also-
then above him are McKinnon, McDavid, Goudreau, Rantanen, and then Kucherov up top.
Can I throw something out there? Is some players get Schedule A bonuses or whatever they are, like crazy, like $250,000 bonuses for getting named to the All-Star teams. Why do we allow something that fans can vote on to affect the salary cap?
Hundreds of thousands
that-
of dollars.
Does that not seem insane? That shouldn't count towards the cap. The hell?
Well, what if a team doesn't want to play the bonus and on the slide they're like, hey, don't pick this guy?
Yeah, like
Don't tell me that couldn't happen.
Oh, wow.
Don't
yeah.
like it absolutely. By the way, from multiple people I've heard, it has happened. I could never confirm it because who can confirm that?
Yeah.
But
Ain't nobody.
But absolutely, if a team can be like, "Hey, we're not going to be compliant,"
listen.
don't tell me they wouldn't make
because
that phone
the NHL
call.
chooses the rest of the guys.
Listen, if
Is
you
there a
allow there to be some, I'm not saying that it's
Wow.
happened. I'm saying there have been murmurs of it.
That's fascinating.
What teams are really close to the cap this year? And
Oh no!
who
Don't do
on
that! Don't do that! Don't do that! Reddit
Have I
conspiracy.
learned nothing from John
Too much
Scott?
time. We're
It'd
not
take too
doing it
much
here.
Work. Yeah, I'd have to
Yeah.
go, and I'm not doing that live.
We'll let Steve Dangle at home figure that out. Because Steve Dangle at home goes deep.
Wait, Steve, are you going to watch a replay of all of Austin Matthews'
Who's
goals
most
from last
likely?
year?
Who's most likely?
Yes, I am.
Steve would actually write the article. Who is most likely?
To be screwed over
To
by the
screw-
NHL.
Which team most likely screwed over their star player?
No
by
for
Steve
cap
Dangle?
implications.
I'm trained to catch.
Not good at this microphone. You're not getting up. Are we done yet? Are we done?
No, let's keep going.
Come on, Jesse's not done.
Fine.
Let's ask more press conference
Jesse's afraid of
questions.
all the complaints on Reddit.
Well, they wanted these questions in, so
that's
I'm
fine.
I
No,
give the
listen,
people
that's
what they
fair.
want. I'm a
course.
fan of the people. The people run this show. Without them, we are nothing. And that's why you should buy the Steve Dangle merch.
You should. You're such a jerk.
We have clap shit bombs merch,
That makes me happy.
and we
though.
just haven't done a good job of promoting it. I ordered some today.
Captain and Klep says, eat the pepper, Steve. We still need a plan now.
I'm friggin' gonna.
All right, final question. Steve's Burley Traps.
What?
That's his Reddit name. Steve's
He does have burly traps. True
Steve
that.
underscore Burley underscore Traps underscore. It's Game 7 of Stanley Cup Finals in an alternate universe. Toronto is up 2-1 against Boston. 1 minute left to play. Boston with the empty net and an offensive zone draw. Assuming the other defenseman is the same in either case, would you rather put out 1, Roman Polak, or 2, Ron Hainsey to close out the game?
Ooh.
Closing out the
How
game.
much time's on the clock?
1 minute left. Offensive zone draw. Toronto up 2-1. Goalie pulled for Boston.
As in, we're not in their zone, and they're.
Oh, so it's a defensive.
Yeah,
zone.
it's
They got it
defensive.
backwards. Defensive zone draw.
This must be a Bruins fan. Offensive zone. for
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Because maybe I don't know.
I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna answer here and say Polak
I'm gonna
because
say Roman Polak.
Really?
Polak
Wow.
Polak will
Polak.
ice the puck 59 times. And you will end the game as long as you can get it back to him. Whereas Hainsey, I'm not even sure he's getting the puck out anymore. Like I hate to say it, but and the Leafs players don't come back enough for him to get it to them. They love the stretch pass, and you can't do that with a backhand.
The goal that he tried to throw the puck off the glass, and it didn't result in a zone exit. Like, dude, that's Ron Hainsey's thing. And so when that failed, I'm like, what is it you would say you do here? Like, at least Polak is big.
Are we
And, like-
are we so against Ron Hainsey that we are wishing Roman Polak back into the lineup? Be careful what you wish for, man. Be careful.
Man, the
Polak
guy,
Riley. That's the pairing we want.
The guy ain't good.
He's
Ooh, what a dark question.
yeah.
Oh.
That's very funny, and it took me to a bad place.
I would side with Ron Hainsey.
Is that because you're just trying to be different?
No, because I don't want Roman Polak anywhere near
There
the
were
puck.
2 goals during that series against Boston last year where it was Hainsey versus Bacchus in front, and Bacchus stayed where he was because Hainsey couldn't move
Bacchus
him.
does that against the line. Bacchus is a big boy.
Yeah, it's kind of his job.
Holy shit! Like, at least Polak has a chance of moving him.
Yeah, if he's in front of the net, if he happens to be in position.
Hainsey,
Hainsey is our top pairing defenseman.
oh my dear God.
I think
he's like a
he-
player coach.
He's there for a reason.
I'm not sure he is anymore.
I love his expertise.
I'm not sure he is.
I love those clips of him going, "Here, there, young guy. Here's what you're supposed to do." You
Hire him as a
go."
coach.
Man, that is a guy you put on your third pair, 7th defenseman. He's the scraggly. Let me tell you something, there,
Yeah.
Sonny.
Yeah.
Guy. He's not someone you pair with Morgan freaking Riley.
Maybe this goes back to what we were talking about earlier with Garret Sparks. I think Mike Babcock is not stupid. Okay? I think that is very clear.
There's no way he's like, good job, Ronnie.
No, Mike Babcock knows, and I think he leaves him there because he's saying, I am not putting Travis Dermott up there. I am not putting Jake Gardner up there. I need my right-handed defenseman, please. And I'm also not going to put Nikita Zaitsev up there.
Yeah, Kyle, go get me someone. Yeah.
I think he's probably doing that.
Oof. It's so bad.
And you know what? If they do go get that right-handed defenseman that everybody wants, it would be kind of cool to see Ron Hainsey go into that role, because he would automatically, to me, go back to, he'd be the seventh defenseman. And if he's playing third pairing minutes once every other game, fine. I don't hate that on his proper side.
They don't have enough money to pay for the ice cream. I'm going to keep saying it.
No, we can pay for somebody for 3 months. And that's all from February to
I think they need
June.
to do it.
No.
They need to do a McDonough. They need a guy for 2 years. If you're going to make the trade, don't halfway make it for 2.
What I'm saying is the analogy was no matter how you switch up the Leafs' current pairings, it doesn't add up to enough money to buy the ice cream.
Yeah, you're saying the guys we have now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have enough money on you to pay for the ice cream. So you got to go into your pocket.
You wouldn't do a deal at the deadline just for a rental? If it looks like Leafs are really rolling?
If that's all that's out there, but you would try to get someone in Petrangelo's situation, not necessarily him, who's got at least a year left.
Now, I would also look at it, because Petrangelo to me is exactly what they need. What the problem that most teams do is they're looking for a guy that doesn't cost them too much, and what you end up doing is rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, and that's how you end up with Peter Chiarelli deals and Mark Bergevin deals from a couple years ago, where you're getting bottom 6 forwards, or you're getting not even bottom 6, bottom 12 forward guys who wouldn't even make the lineup on most playoff teams, and you're getting Brandon Manning. And no, with no offense to Brandon Manning, I think Brandon Manning's aware of his skill level. The Leafs don't need to go get a right-handed defenseman. They need to get the right-handed defenseman. It's not a second pairing right-handed defenseman they need. They need a top 4, we say top 4, they need a marquee guy. If you're really going to improve that defense, and I know you can make the argument that even a guy who's pretty good would vastly improve that defense, and I'm with you. But if you're going to go spend the assets anyway, why not just go get the big name?
If Colton Parayko is available,
get him, because he's signed forever.
You listen intently. Yeah, and it's a really good deal too. Man, that Polak situation's dark.
Colton Parayko, come on, go get him.
I would love him.
I love him too.
I just think it's going to cost a Cappy or someone like that. It's going to be expensive, man.
Man, I hope they could convince them on a Connor Brown or something like that. You might be able to.
Dude.
I
Connor
think
Brown and like 3 firsts, right? Like he's not the principal part of that deal.
Yeah, and you know what? The way the Leafs are going to finish, that's a 29th overall pick. You can come back from that.
Real interesting.
And that's like, really, if the Leafs finish 3rd, that's a 29th. If they finish 2nd, they're tied with Calgary right now. It's one of the two. It's 29th or 30th overall. If that's what it costs you, do it.
Do you do Liljegren and a first for Parayko?
Yes.
Oh, that's an expensive
That's
price.
a tough one.
Yeah.
Hey, if you win a cup, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Fuck it.
I think Parayko costs more than that. Anyway, we could probably do
Parayko
6
does
more
not
hours
cost
of the
more
show.
than that. Come on.
Yeah, it does. Guaranteed.
Well, Brown, Bracco, and a second are also available too.
Can't trade Nielsen anymore.
But Nielsen's gone.
Already traded him.
Already traded. Any other questions?
I think we're good there.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I don't know when our next episode is, but it will be next week.
Yes.
Happy New Year, everybody. This was our first episode of 2019. It was a pleasure. Thanks to all the podcast listeners who reached out to Jesse and I, and actually who've been listening and participating in the show. It's a new show. It's a lot of fun. And
Virgin. LOL.
haven't heard that before. And it takes a while to get some of those things off the ground, but I think we're off to a good start. So anyway, thank you for all your support on that. And Steve, anything to add?
It's the
Martyr Jar.
99.9 frequency if you're listening in Toronto.
Oh, that's
Listen
right.
to a Roger station instead. You should do that. But, hey. You weren't listening to the radio just now. You were listening to the podcast. So all I'm going to say to you, thanks for listening to the show.
Follow the
guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.